Oh, I don't feel guilty. I say, regardless of his intention, go fuck yourself. Guess what? Guess what? No one asked you. No one asked you to insert what you feel about a person's appearance. So go fuck yourself, sir. And you know who can join them? All the people that commented that I'm on cocaine and that I need to take drugs to calm down on my Seth Meyers appearance. Because let me say this, I can't afford cocaine. The saboteurs at it again.
Who's touching your knobs?
Turning those little fucking things down. Wait, now I can't hear you again.
Wait,
now I can, but I couldn't hear you laughing.
That's so weird. That might have been like Zoom sometimes if we're talking at the same time. Cuts one of us out.
How's it going, Caissie?
Are you recording?
Oh, yeah, it's recording.
Okay, then I want to say, happy birthday week to you. Happy birthday week.
Yeah.
Well, I woke up early to see that the Supreme Court did not strike down Roe versus Wade today. So your prediction may be right that it will actually happen on your birthday. That's a downer. That's a downer way to open the pod.
I mean, here's what's bringing me some hope in that arena is that in Florida, a synagogue sued the state because it impinges on religious freedom. The 15-week, 6-week, 0-week, whatever abortion bans, all of these extreme abortion bans. And I think, there's a what's the word? It's like like when like organizations, like groups of people put out like a statement and they all sign, and like a bunch of like important people sign it. Like, what is that called?
Like a petition?
Like a declaration?
A declaration?
Like more like a declaration. Like, you know. So apparently there was some sort of declaration that many rabbis across the country signed saying just essentially what the fucking truth of this is, which is that like these are laws that are being passed based on, well, I mean, other than just total power and control, but like based on religious ideology, like based on religious belief of when life begins. It's subjective, obviously, and obviously the Supreme Court determined scientifically like when fetuses are viable outside of a womb, which, by the way, doesn't even the Jewish faith, like in the Jewish faith, the fetus is just an extension of the mother until birth, until the fetus is outside of the womb, which is why like most Jewish women won't have baby showers before the babies are born. It's not just like bad luck or whatever, or like an old wives' tale about bad luck. It's like it's actually like deeply rooted in tradition and belief, So and they don't name their babies. Jewish people typically, people who are observant, don't name their babies until they're born. That's something we did, but that was less about anything other than I just couldn't decide.
You couldn't decide? Your very last minute?
Yeah. I mean, I had like a list. I had a list of names, but I don't know. It's like, I always felt like you needed to look at the person before you decide what their name is going to be.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I always do you find it a little strange? I don't know. I do think it's a little strange sometimes when people name their fetuses at 4 weeks or whatever. They're 4 weeks pregnant and they're like, we're just so excited for Robert to be born. You're like, okay. Okay. So anyway, but basically, so a synagogue sued the state because the extreme abortion ban in Florida violates religious freedoms. And, what is supposed to be one of the things that is actually constitutionally guaranteed, right? The right to live and practice your religion as you see fit, based on the principles of your religion.
Right.
And so, it does infringe on religious freedom and it violates the Jewish faith. And, abortion, according, in Judaism, abortion is, quote, required if necessary to protect the health, mental or physical well-being of the woman. Okay, so it's not it doesn't have to be a lady's going to die,
Right.
But anyway, it's giving me hope because I think that if these extreme politicians are going to be doing this and playing this out, then I guess the only recourse seems to be finding those ways in which, it is actually in the Constitution that we have a right to abortion.
Right. It's very complicated. This might also give you a little bit of hope. It's a little bit of an early birthday present from the members of the Facebook group. If you are not a member of the Facebook group, maybe you'll want to join. But the members of the Facebook group organized a couple things for your birthday. And obviously, it's not officially your birthday yet, so it's still in progress. But they, first of all, organized a number of donations. They made a number of donations in your name to various causes, but mostly abortion causes and abortion funds. But a couple other, some people chose different things that they also knew would mean a lot to you. And it's already thousands of dollars. So when there's a final tally, I'll let you know. But I wanted to tell you on the podcast that they were doing that for you. And also they made a really sweet virtual message board with messages to you. Look at your little face with messages to you for birthday messages, just of love and just saying hi because you're not on the Facebook page. And so
it's really nice.
Aw, I will send you a link to that when it's all filled out by everyone who wants to fill it out.
That's really nice. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Aw. It's a little bit of a weird year for a birthday for everyone, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And you've had just a wild week, I feel like. If I've been following your Instagram.
What happened on my Instagram? I don't know.
On your Instagram, Gina killed a mouse.
Oh God, that was so terrible. It was rigor mortis.
She
it was
gave it a heart attack.
I think she really did. She didn't, because it wasn't guts or anything. She didn't destroy it. I mean, we got it out of her mouth before she did some actual gross, disgusting damage. I mean, anyway, the guy came yesterday. The pest guy came yesterday, and he was like, "This is not an infestation." He looked all over. He's like, "It was just a couple rogue mice that maybe one or two rogue mice got in." So And Gina got it,
Wow.
The guy, so he closed up the holes in that he could see.
I mean, I'm glad Gina's still has her natural instincts to hunt, I guess. Even though poor mouse,
well,
but
No, but also we know this about Gina. Gina is a stone cold killer.
Yeah.
She's a
serial killer. Listen, small animals, fuck around and find out when you come around Gina.
Well, it was really funny. We were laughing at how, and we were remembering the chicken wing, it wasn't a chicken wing, the bird wing. That was the
yes.
disgusting bird wing. And Birdie and I were laughing about it. It was just so gross and disgusting and hilarious. I made another list.
You made another list? Okay, let's hear your list because I have a list as well. We made lists, guys.
We're trying to get it together. I was looking, because Jenny Mullen is on her book tour and got COVID.
Oh, so shit.
I know. The first time in 2 years, finally got her. Although I guess that makes sense, you're on a book tour.
Yeah.
And she's quarantining in a hotel that she's basically stuck at. Yeah. But so I sent her that. We were on the phone and I was telling her about Rachel Hollis that she's didn't know who it was.
Girl,
so I
wash
sent her
your
that
face.
Girl, wash your face. So I sent her that podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, wait. Do you want to start your list?
I mean, sure. Do you want to hear about my day yesterday?
Always.
Well, first of all, last week I think it was last week, I replied to a tweet by Caleb Heron. Caleb says things.
I don't.
He was talking about. I
don't know who he is.
I think I don't know.
I literally don't know who he is.
I don't know him personally. I just saw the tweet and I was like, yeah, this is right. He was saying I'm paraphrasing. You want to charge me for cleaning my Airbnb and then you leave me a list of chores? No thanks. I'll be at a hotel.
Right.
And
I did see that tweet. Yeah.
I replied early on, but Caleb's tweet went massively viral. But I replied saying one time I went to an Airbnb and the lady was on her way out and she was like, hey, my cat's missing. If you see him around, can you catch him and bring him in the house and just keep him in there until I come back when you leave? And I was kind of
oh my God.
I don't know your cat. I don't know the area. I'm here for a business trip. And then, it's just a tweet. So I just tweeted that. Cut to, on this business trip, I went into the house and I was went to settle into a room and she was still dicking around the house. And I was like, hey, there's no bed sheets here. And she was like, yeah, I got to run to the laundry and wash some bed sheets. And then I'll swing by and drop them off later. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to head to a hotel. I'm going to try to get a hotel room because it seems like you have a lot going on and maybe you should stay at your house. But anyway, that also 14,000 people liked that tweet because of how massively popular Caleb's tweet was. But people are still talking about it today, saying what a piece of shit I am for not being willing to help that lady find her cat. And I was like, it's not that I was unwilling. It's just I was there for a business trip and she was on her way out and see ya, sucker. Try to catch my cat like a Pokemon. And I just was a lot of people agreed with me, but a lot of people still a week later are in their feelings about my unwillingness to become a cat bounty hunter at an Airbnb.
Okay. Well, this is why we don't fuck with Twitter. Honey. This is, you know what I mean?
Yes. So
this is why we're just not fucking with Twitter.
Yeah, I guess that's it. It's I get it. And I love a kitty. I think they're not my favorite household pet, but it's fine. I'm fine with a kitty, but it's just, that's a lot of responsibility to pay for the privilege of doing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's not, no.
It doesn't make any sense. Anyway.
Also, it's it would be one thing if it was oh, my cat got out. Like if you see a cat, it might be my cat.
Yeah.
You text me.
Yeah. And I'll come. I mean, it was just a lot. It was a lot.
I don't know. It feels. No, listen, whatever. I mean, honestly, I blame you for getting involved in Twitter. So,
and also for like the place where I was working for getting Airbnbs instead of just hotels. Just get a hotel, you know, just that's why I should not stay in Airbnbs for the most part. I should stay in hotels.
Well,
Airbnbs
also just
are
like,
always like a literal crapshoot.
Yeah, but also like Airbnbs are part of the reason why there's a housing crisis and why people can't afford to live close to the places where they work. And, you know, this idea of having like income property is so fucking weird. People are so weird and everybody needs to calm down.
It seemed like a good idea at first. And now I'm seeing that I'm just personally a hotel person.
I think I did see some versions of these tweets. I don't remember. But I did see somebody that was like, I just wish there were, and this is where I agree. Like when you're traveling with children, like there aren't great family hotel options.
Right.
That are reasonably priced.
Right.
Like somebody needs to, because like you don't want to be in a room.
Right.
with your two children.
Yeah.
And a whole, you know, like a whole family. Like it's too much.
Yeah.
So someone, Hilton, I'm looking at you. I don't know. My dad loves Hilton. Is it Hilton that he has the points at? Yeah, Hilton.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, he loves this.
I think I've actually talked to your parents about their points before.
Oh, my dad loves those points. Those points are everything for my father. Even still.
Yeah.
There was something that happened a couple years. His points were stolen, taken out.
Oh, no.
It was a whole thing.
It's like
he had to get on the phone.
A cryptocurrency scam.
It was basically a scam. It was a scam.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Wait, this isn't on the list, but I have to read you a text exchange.
Please. I live for being read a text exchange.
So I'm sorry to this person if they're listening to this podcast. I don't know if they do or not. I met a person at an event that I had to go to. And we had like a mutual friend in common, you know?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm just going to be, honestly, there's no fucking way this person listens to the fucking podcast because they would have known not to bring up NFTs with me.
Exactly.
So anyway, we have like a mutual good friend. Oh my God, this is so insane. You're going to laugh. This is not on the list. Not on the list. And so, whatever. It's a woman, and you know, I'm on the lookout for friends, obviously. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I gave her my number. Oh, great. Let's hang out. Okay, sure. And then before we parted ways at the event, she said something about like, oh, like all the abortion work you do is so great. Like I'm doing this NFT thing to like benefit some. And I was like, oh, uh-huh. So anyway, here's the exchange. So she texts me, now that you're in NYC, we'll have to get together. This is the project I told you about that I'm donating to the abortion funds, blah, blah, blah. And then sends me this thing. And I go, amazing. Full disclosure, I really have a major issue with NFTs, exclamation point. I love art and I love donating to charity, but NFTs aren't for me. Why? Why did I feel the need to do that? What's wrong with me?
Well, I mean,
because I didn't know how else to respond, I guess.
Yeah. You're just being honest because you know what? You're being smart. And I think you said it in a nice way and that wasn't overly confrontational. But if you're going to continue to talk to this person, if you had like even not said anything or had like feigned support or whatever, you would have had to continue to have conversations about NFTs. And then it would like,
well, wait.
Okay.
The response back was, I understand. Took me a year of learning, but totally get it. What I love about it is artists and but but understand and love your honesty. And then I wrote, oh, I've learned a ton about it. Like, truly, I have talked to experts in the field. I am really very emphatically against them on so many levels. But live, laugh, love, JK. Just have to tell you all this because I'm very outspoken about how much I am against them.
Well, you'll meet another new friend in New York.
I really had to go. I really went hard.
Oh,
sometimes
my
I just
gosh.
sometimes I just go so hard.
Yeah.
Well, you know this about me.
Yeah. Sometimes I go hard and then you have to tell me, like, I'm like, I don't think I was that bad. And then you're like, I mean, it was a little bad. And then I'm like, oh, okay. But you're just in the moment. Everybody goes hard sometimes.
No,
Everybody.
Some people don't. No, I don't think so. I actually am just going to disagree. I don't think so. I think some people don't go hard. I think some people don't go hard.
We could be right.
Do you know what helps me sleep through the night?
I think I have an idea, but do you want to tell me?
Yes. So we were sent this product to try out. You know me and Caissie. We always have to try the things before we do them, before we agree to sell them to you. And so I got this Ned Sleep blend that has magnesium in it. Ned is what the company is called. And basically, guys, these are like super blends that have, trace minerals, magnesium, CBD. Some of them have CBD.
Yeah. All kinds of incredible ingredients.
So magnesium is so good, especially if you like work out. So I've been working out this past week. Oh, I forgot to talk about this on the podcast, but I'm talking about it now in the ad. I did do 6 days last week of working out, which was
That's
great.
Incredible.
I know, but I did get a little sore.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been working out as much, recently. So,
yeah.
But that was why the Ned magnesium came at the perfect time. I take it before bed. It like helps if you haven't ever taken magnesium. First of all, it helps with like a myriad of things. My doctor years ago told me to take a magnesium supplement for my IBS even.
Yes.
Do you take it for your stuff too?
I take it for my stuff. And when I first started taking it, like magnesium can be pretty rough on your stomach. So this Ned product, Mellow, it's called, is a magnesium super blend. It's a dietary supplement. And that's what I appreciate about it so much is that it's really gentle on my stomach.
I do feel like brain function, my muscles, just like, I'll get that, thing sometimes where my hands are like kind of numb, remember?
Yeah.
Well, not if I take my magnesium. But also like the CBD, I want to try the CBD now. I'm going to have to order it myself because I just had them send me the magnesium to try. But the CBD is like, seems kind of amazing too. And CBD is so good for anti-inflammation and stuff. We want you to become the best versions of yourself and get 15% off of Ned products with the code BUSY. So you go to helloned.com/busy or enter code BUSY at your checkout. That's HELLONED.com/busy. And you're going to get 15% off. Thank you so much to Ned for sponsoring the show and offering our listeners a natural remedy for some of life's most common health issues, and also just for hooking me and Caissie up with a new product that we legit love and is making our lives better. Thank you so much. Element. It is wild. It is so wild. You guys, are you on the electrolyte train yet? Are you on my electrolyte train yet?
It makes such a huge difference.
Get on
because
it.
I think we all do a lot of things that are very dehydrating and we need some electrolytes.
And the electrolytes are key to feeling your best. I'm not kidding you. Guys, it will change you. It will change you. And we love Element. It's LMNT. but you pronounce it Element. It's a very tasty electrolyte drink mix. It's got everything you need, nothing you don't. Lots of salt, no sugar. There's no junk, no food coloring, no artificial ingredients, no gluten, no fillers, no BS. It's formulated to help anyone with electrolytes, and it's perfectly suited for people who are following like keto or low carb or paleo or whatever your diet thing is. I don't need to know about it. I just know that you can also have Element. Headaches, muscle cramps, fatigue, sleeplessness. Guys, all of that are they're common symptoms of electrolyte deficiency. And this is why I'm telling you, electrolytes will change your life as they've changed my life. Just 2 days ago, when I had some wine and I needed to feel better. Guys, right now, Element is offering the listeners a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single-serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way. You can try all 8 flavors.
They're very good.
Or you can share Element with a salty friend. Get yours at drinklmnt.com/best. The deal is only available through my special link. You must go to drinklmnt.com/best. Also, Element offers a no questions asked refund. It's totally risk-free. If you don't like it, just give it away and they'll give you your money back. No questions asked. So you literally have nothing to lose. Get some electrolytes into your life, guys. Get some Element.
Well, listen, do you want to hear about my day yesterday?
Yes.
Biz.
What happened?
So I told you that I was getting a new to me car, a new used car to replace the subscription service car. Also, gonna say kind of a scam.
But also, it just sounds like a lease, but with a different, weirder name.
Yeah. But also, I think it's like, it started off being basically amazing. Like it was like concierge level service. And then the company has changed hands so many times and the services are cut every time, but the price is never cut as the car devalues. And I've like basically paid the purchase price for the car at this point where, you know, it still belongs to someone else. And there was a hit and run. Someone hit the back of it. And so I'm responsible to like get that fixed. So I was like,
that sucks.
My new to me used car came. And so I wanted to bring the other car into the body shop to get it taken care of. So that car is at the body shop, but that's no problem because I have the new to me car and Matt has his fun vintage convertible midlife crisis mobile. And so then, you know, that this might be the last new to me car I get of my life. I don't know. If I take care of this, it might last me for 20 years, you know? And so I want to be happy with it. And it's silver. And that is like my least favorite car color. But
I thought we were getting it wrapped.
Yes. So Tony at Wraps LA, the best guy I've ever met in Los Angeles.
Tony, where were you when I wanted my car wrapped?
Oh my God, busy. He's really young, so he probably was like not old enough to wrap a car then, but now he's old enough.
Damn.
He's so good. He gave me the best price by a country mile of anyone in LA. He invited us to his shop to show us all around, and it was so cool. And he was so patient with me while I was picking a color. He ordered the material, and he was like, it's going to take a while because of supply chain issues.
Did you get matte green?
I didn't get matte green. I got like a sparkly teal color.
Ooh, I love that.
I think it'll be really fun.
Yes.
So anyway, he calls me and he's like, listen, your material came in to wrap your car. It came in like so soon. It's a surprise. I can do it right away. And like, I have the time. And so I can just bang it out. And I was like, okay, let me talk to my husband. And he was like, I was like, when can I bring it? And he was like, you can bring it like now. I'm on my way in now and I'll show you the vinyl and then we can get started. And so I talked to Matt and I was like, listen, I know this is going to be a huge inconvenience because we have 4 people sharing 2 cars. And now this guy is asking to take my car for a few days to wrap it, but he has time. He cleared his schedule. He has the materials. And Matt was like, I agree. This will be a pain in the ass, but let's do it. So we go and
This is yesterday.
Just
need to make sure.
Mm-hmm. By the way, it was in the morning, and I said, Matt, what is it like outside? Because he'd already been outside with the dogs, and he was like, you know what? It's kind of cool and pleasant. And I was like, I'm just going to throw on what I had on last night when I was outdoors. And so I threw on like this adorable sweater. It's very thick. Mm-hmm. I threw on some sturdy wide leg jeans, sneakers, and because I knew I was going to be riding home in the convertible and I didn't want to get a sunburn, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And so this is all happening before Matt has to get to work for his shift that starts at 1:00. We drop off the car with Tony. I love him so much. I would adopt him to be like an extra son if we needed extra sons. Mm-hmm. And then they have a conversation about how fun Matt's car is. And he's like, oh, I wouldn't do anything to that. That car's older than me. You know, same thing every young person says. He's like, that car's perfect. I love it. And then I was like, okay, let's go. Can I stop at the pharmacy on the way home? I just have to pick something up. Matt says, sure. I go into the pharmacy. I was thinking of getting my COVID booster when I was there. And then I was like, no, I don't want to make Matt late for work. I got to just get my thing and get out of here.
Wait, you get another booster?
Yeah, because of turning elderly, 50. So I get a second COVID booster. And I have to get like shingles vaccines. I have to get all the vaccines.
Yeah.
So anyway, I decided not to because I didn't want to make Matt late on the off chance that it took a while. And thank God I didn't get it because I came out and Matt's car was like smoking, possibly on fire.
No.
And he was like, I don't know, like if a hose blew on the radiator or what, I don't know. Because he's not like a car repair guy. He's just a car lover guy. And so he ran over to 7-Eleven, got some coolant, dumped it in there. It all went on the ground. We found a garage like a half a mile away, and he called and talked to the guy who's I think was named Greg, and Greg was like, yeah, bring it in. So we bring it in, but in the meantime, Matt's like, oh shit, I have to get to work. What am I going to do? Should I call out sick? And I was like, it's not really a good time to call out sick because people actually are, you know, very sick.
Sure.
So I was like, just take an Uber to your job and then I'll stay here waiting for this guy to come around and talk to us. When that guy ever came around, he was such a dick to me. And I just felt like it was because I was a woman.
Well, obviously.
And he was like, how far did you drive this like this? And I was like, my husband spoke to you on the phone. We drove it 1/2 mile. He was like, it's too hot. I can't do anything with it. I can't touch it. And I was like, this is too hot. I was like putting my hand on it and being like, this is too hot. And then I got all worked up because Greg, I think his name was being such an asshole. And so I just was like, be polite to me. I need you to be polite to me. This is a stressful moment. My car is broken. Like, it's not my car, whatever. But so anyway, meanwhile, I'm like texting Matt and I'm trying to like figure out like what's going to happen, like how we're going to be transported anywhere in my family. So I'm like on the phone, like trying to like see if I can get one of the 2 cars back that are both in the garage. And now this third one's in the garage. And I'm texting Matt, like this guy's being such a dick. And then Matt called the guy and talked to him again. And I guess that like registered with him that like, oh, this woman is married and this is her husband's car. And like, so he came over and then he finally was nice. And he was like, yeah, he was like, the parts will be here Tuesday. Parts that he told me didn't exist and weren't gettable. Anyway, so I was like, really riled up. And thank God for this guy that worked at the garage that kept like rolling his eyes at me, being like, yeah, he's a dick. But so anyway, for some reason, I was like, at that point, our budget for like living for the month was already blown on like the Monday of the week. So I was just like, I'm just going to walk home. It's only a couple miles to walk home.
You're wearing like a sweater. What's wrong? Oh. No.
A sweater and wide leg jeans in the valley.
No.
And it was like 100 degrees.
What's wrong? What were you thinking?
I don't know what I was thinking. I just felt like I had to walk it off because I was so like busy. I almost died. It was
of course you did.
It was only 2 miles, but I almost died. I was like,
oh my God.
I know the valley's hot and I know that there is hardly any shade in the valley, but I was like dashing and like crouching in the shadows of like tiny bushes. I got a big gulps for the first time since the 1990s.
But at what point? But like, you could have just stopped and just called an Uber at any point.
I know, but then I was just like, you know how I am. Like, I just was like, no, I have to do this. I have to walk home. It was so stupid. It was the stupidest thing.
But you didn't have to do it.
I know. And I was like wearing this sweater. I had a mask on because I forgot to put sunblock on, or I didn't think it was necessary. But so anyway, I had a mask on.
I'm truly horrified by
because I didn't want
everything.
my face to get burned. And then I was just like, I had sunglasses on. I looked insane. But the worst part, which I think you will really identify with, is I had thick, wide leg jeans on, and they got so sweaty and so heavy that, like, as I got closer to home, the harder it was.
Stop it. Stop it.
And like the seams were full of like very salty sweat, and they like abraded my skin. Like, I sincerely have like marks on my body from like just being, you know, I'm like a very sensitive skin flower. And so now I have like they're not scabs, but they're just like irritated areas from
but they're not scabs.
My sweaty, stupid jeans that I think were like growing bigger and bigger as I walked, as they like got saturated with sweat. They just kept getting wider and wider legged jeans.
So funny. You know, I'm working on the movie Senior Trip that we first, guys, you're all a part of this movie with me. I've been trying to decide though recently. I'm still outlining if I want to pitch it and like just try to get paid so that I can get some fucking money and pay off my taxes. Don't worry, IRS, you'll get your money someday.
Yeah, do it.
Well, that's easy to say.
Well, I mean, what
pitching's? I don't know. Pitching's like kind of hard.
Not for you.
I could just write it, right? And then I have a script and we could take it place. I just don't know. This might be too inside, guys, for you guys right now in this
Hollywood
moment.
break.
Hollywood break. I just don't know what the trend is currently with movies. I think that, like, okay, that's to say, guys, this is the Hollywood break. Sometimes it goes in waves in this industry. Sometimes they go through waves where studios are just looking for scripts that are already written and done to like just say, yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they prefer to have development, i.e. you pitch it and then you send them the outline and then you send them the first draft and then they give you notes on all these things, you know, and there's more, it's more participation and back and forth. It just depends. I just don't know where the industry, I don't know where people are at, like who are making movies right now, because I actually don't even know what movies are. And then beyond that, I essentially don't even have like agents. I don't know what's happening. So everything's fakakta.
We were just having a conversation about this, and I was saying, you know, there's the new Emma Thompson movie where she's like an older lady who is having a relationship with a sex worker, I guess is what he is. And I haven't seen that movie yet. But I was saying I'm appreciating the return to smaller movies that aren't a Marvel movie.
Well, that's what Senior Trip is.
Exactly. And I think there's a place for those. And that is one thing that I think streamers are doing well. And I think that there's a place for those.
Oh, wait, but this was what I was going to say. So I took Birdie to the Phoebe Bridgers show.
Yeah.
Because I found out Lucy Dacus was the surprise opening guest.
Yeah.
And so I texted Lucy and was like, hey girl, hey, can you hook us up? She was like, of course. And so then afterwards we were kind of backstage, and it was such a bummer because I guess Phoebe and her boyfriend had to like split to go, or her fiance to go overseas for something that they needed to be at. And so Birdie didn't get to meet Phoebe Bridgers or Harry Styles. Now I'm officially a bad mom.
Oh my God.
Anyway, don't even start. Don't even fucking start. Do not even start. So, but I was chatting with these ladies who were amazing. But that part of the reason why we were chatting is because I don't know how it started. I don't remember how it started. But anyway, the point is I somehow started telling them about senior trip.
Yeah.
And like the one girl was like laughing hysterically. And I was like, I've gone back and forth about making it a period piece or not, but I think now I'm definitely going to set it in, the year that it was that we went to Europe, my friends and I. And we were laughing because she was like, oh my God, Jenko jeans. I remember this boy in my school who was wearing those big Jenko jeans, but then like he like stepped in a puddle and then they were just like soaking wet. And I was like, that imagery, I totally remember that. Like anyone who lived through the giant jeans of the 90s and like just having wet, like, and she's like, the way that they like would soak up all the way, like it would like all of a sudden then your knees were wet and then
it was like wicking
the tops
up.
It was wicking up. It was like wicking upwards. Anyway, it was making me laugh really hard and I'm like, I'm putting that in the movie. Thank you. But that's what your big wide leg jeans soaked with sweat reminds me of. The Jenko jeans stepped in a puddle.
It was reminding
stepping in a puddle
me,
with
I didn't have official Jenko jeans on, but in the 90s, when I worked at the Rosie O'Donnell show and I was a young person, I think it was Rosie. Anyway, I had some giant jeans on and our executive producer was like, oh, are there any PAs here? I need someone to drop this somewhere, like at the end of the day. And I was a writer on the show, but I was also young and a woman. So I was always doing that thing where I'd be like, oh, I can take care of that. No problem. That's like on my way, wherever. It's just a little out of my way. Trying to like make myself indispensable. And so I offered to drop something off at some hotel or some apartment or whatever. And it started to rain and my wide-legged 90s jeans got so heavy that I started crying like in the rain. I just showed up at whatever, I'm assuming like some celebrity's apartment or hotel, like trying to deliver something, soaked like a wet rat with these pants, like trying to drag me down to hell and just crying. And whenever I get wet, that's what I feel like crying. I'm reminded of that time and I feel like I want to cry.
Listen, sometimes the only thing to do is cry. And I really, truly believe that. I really, really believe that.
What the fuck? You're already wet.
What is this bug? Oh my God, there's like some wild bug that just...
Oh no, you don't need it. You don't need it today. Not today, busy. Not today. So what was the deal with your balcony with beer cans and broken glass and bloody tissues?
Oh yeah, that did happen. I forgot. Well, I did. I actually found out my neighbor upstairs had a... They weren't all related. The beer can wasn't related. It's like a bright blue bug in here. Oh God, okay. Jesus Christ. Sir? Hello? Where did you go? Oh, there you are. Oh my God, what is that? What are you? You look like a little lightning bug or something. Are you magic? I need to get you out of here. You need to go. Don't sting me. I wonder if it's a stinging bug. I hope not. Here, let's see. Can I do this? Can I do this? Get out. Go. Go. Look, I opened it. Go. Oh, shit. Oh, God damn it. Go. Yay! Swear to God, it just flew back into my bedroom window.
Oh, my God. I'm looking up Bright Blue Bugs New York, and I'm seeing... something called a blue mud wasp.
Oh, great. Sounds exactly right. Anyway, my neighbors upstairs had something fall. The glass was broken, cut the finger. It all fell out the the windowsill onto my little balcony, and they were horrified. But at least I said, it made me feel better that it was blood I knew.
Yeah, and that it's like wasn't a mystery that needed to be solved. It wasn't only murders in the building type thing.
No, it was just, but also it was like super windy. So I think because also on the roof of this building, you can hang out. There's like, it's a communal hangout space.
Right.
So I think that the beer can, unrelated, had flown on down from up there. So I also found 2 Gatorade bottles. on my other little balcony. So I think that there was like a wind. It was just a confluence of circumstances, but also just happy to report everyone's fine. Okay. No one was murdered.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah, me too, a little bit. But then once I got clarity on the fact that it was just my neighbors upstairs and the window broke and everything's fine, I was like, oh, okay, that's great.
It made sense.
I don't know. I'm too tired. Let's not do this anymore.
Oh my gosh. Oh, here's something I want to get your advice on. Okay, so we talk about sometimes the best way to promote your podcast and to, build your podcast is to go on other podcasts. Plus, it's fun to do other things. So recently, I've done a few things. The first thing is that I recorded a memories video for David Letterman's YouTube channel. Of my times, my favorite memories from when I was a staffer at The Late Show with David Letterman. Yeah. I also went on Jimmy Pardo's podcast, Never Not Funny, if you're a fan of that. It's one of my favorite podcasts. I love going on there. I love that crew over there. They're the most fun. It's so fun. I love Jimmy Pardo. This has nothing to do with Jimmy Pardo other than to say, check out Never Not Funny. But I also went on Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. I've been on that podcast a number of times. Allison Rosen actually is my friend. Our old graphics guy from Busy Tonight, Io, is a big fan of Allison Rosen. That was a funny moment. I think I mentioned before when she was at a birthday party for me and Io was like, was that Allison Rosen? And I thought that was funny because he just didn't seem like the type to listen to Allison Rosen as Your New Best Friend, but he is. But anyway, she has a segment on her podcast called Hey, Go Fuck Yourself, where you're supposed to tell someone to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, great.
And so this ties into the Letterman video because my choice for Hey, Go Fuck Yourself was to, and I did couch it saying, this is maybe like a suggestion to maybe go fuck yourself if you meant it in a certain way or whatever, but maybe it's not. But then everybody responded to it saying that my take on it is not the way that they took it. But on the Letterman YouTube video, I won't say the person's name, but a man commented, I'm just going to come out and say, that is a beautiful woman. And I was like, why did you have to say it that way? But they were like, they were like, I take it as a compliment. And I was like, I took it like, listen, this is an act of courage for me to come out and admit that I think that woman's beautiful. And she might not be everyone's cup of tea, but she's mine. And I'm not afraid to say it. And so I was like, maybe go fuck yourself, but maybe not. And then I felt guilty about it.
Oh, I don't feel guilty. I say, regardless of his intention, go fuck yourself. Guess what? No one asked you. No one asked you. No one asked you to insert what you feel about a person's appearance. So go fuck yourself, sir. And you know who can join them? All the people that commented that I'm on cocaine and that I need to take drugs to calm down on my Seth Meyers appearance. Because let me say this.
You can't afford cocaine.
I'm sorry. That, first of all, A, I can't afford cocaine. No, but B, I've never done cocaine. I've told you this. I've done like literally every drug under the sun.
But not
except
cocaine.
For cocaine.
Wow.
I've never snorted anything in my nose because I think that's disgusting. And I always really liked my nose. And I was afraid
you don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, I was afraid that it would like collapse or something. And then my perfect nose would be fucked. But still, let's fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And fuck the people that think that, or whatever, think that they can comment about my hyperactivity on Seth. The truth is, there are drugs you can take. They're called beta blockers when you go on like late night shows or things. And maybe I should take beta blockers because I do get really nervous. And then, you know, I haven't been in person on a talk show in literally forever.
Yeah.
And so, and like Seth and I go way back, and
you were excited to see him.
I was excited to see him. We were
excited to be there in person,
really chatting. And also
like, what do people want you to do on a talk show?
Well, wait, this is what I was going to say, because I have multiple circles of thought about it. One is that the idea that someone who's excited, like that there's something wrong with a person who is showing excitement is such a fucking like bullshit middle school, like antiquated, dumb thing that only exists. Again, it's a product of the patriarchy.
Sure.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing as the fucking, you know, guy who told me that he thinks people would consider me really classically beautiful if I didn't talk so much.
Fuck that guy. He's the original go fuck yourself.
He is, for sure. Thought he was going to get his, but he didn't. He kind of didn't.
He really didn't.
It sucks. Anyway, the point being, there's an idea, like a way that people are dismissive of women and girls specifically who are excited about things.
Right.
And to me, it's, you know, not only deeply, obviously, rooted in trying to keep men in power, you know, it's to like dismiss and to shame women and girls into being quiet and not being excited about things, speaking up about things, showing excitement.
Right.
And it's such internalized misogyny for a lot of people who don't even realize that that's why they, you know, that they're, well, they're like, that's not what it's about for me. Like, I just think you should calm down. I just think it was just like uncomfortable to watch. It's just uncomfortable to watch someone. It's like, no, you don't understand. You feel like it's uncomfortable to watch because of your internalized misogyny and your internalized hatred of other women and wanting to put them down or put them in their place because it's too much to have a person who's, you know, showing excitement about a thing. That being said, wait, so that's one thing. That's one circle of thought that I have about it, which ties into back to Phoebe Bridgers' show, which was almost similar but different than my experience at the Harry Styles show. That's another, if we're just doing circles today, I don't know. But you know the Phoebe Bridgers song, I Know the End?
I don't know it, but.
It's so good. But it's this song that starts off really like slow and quiet, and then it builds and builds and builds. And then the music, like, you know, the music sort of kind of like explodes. And then she screams into the microphone, like just gutturally screams. And so, you know, this show, the Phoebe Bridgers show, was at Forest Hill Stadium, which is like an amazing place and was really beautiful. And thousands of teens and young women and women in their 20s and 30s and 40s, you know, mostly. Like Phoebe Bridgers did this funny thing at one point where she's like, where are the dads at? Or their dads out there? And like, you know, there definitely were a lot of dads. But so the band's playing that song and it gets And I kind of like, I was leaning against this wall and I like leaned hard into the wall because I knew what was about to happen. And there was this woman who was my age, like right sort of in front or close to my age, maybe younger than me. Sorry if you're listening. Like kind of slightly in front of and to the side, like almost standing in front of like Birdie and their friend who are standing next to me. And that part came like when the Phoebe is going to scream into the microphone. And I don't know if you've ever heard like 25,000 teenage young women screaming bloody fucking murder. But it was like so fucking overwhelming. I started like crying immediately just because, oh no, I'm going to cry again. Just because like, because the screaming at the Harry Styles show is like a different kind of screaming.
Yes, yeah.
Like this felt so fucking needed and like what every single one of those girls and young women in that stadium have been waiting to do for a long fucking time. And that woman like turned around and looked at me like almost like, what the fuck is happening? And I was like, yeah, dude, fucking yes. And I, like got teary and I just was like, I fucking love girls. I love teenagers. I love like young women. I love women. And I fucking hate being one so much sometimes, and I hate it for all of them too. And like the power that they have, the power that they fucking can wield, and the way that time and time again, like our society, our country, our fucking dudes that are supposedly our best friends, are just like, yeah, except take it down a notch.
Right. And you carry that with you for the rest of your life.
And you carry it. And I just wanted to like wrap all of those fucking girls up and just be like, okay, people, we have to remember to scream. We have to remember to fucking scream. Sierra, hi.
Hi.
I'm so sorry.
No, I love it.
I was talking about the Phoebe Bridgers concert, among other things. Oh my gosh, my teeth are so clean.
That is an amazing humble brag that I know to also be true. But why are your teeth so clean?
My teeth are so clean because I've been using Bruche. It's an electric toothbrush that has changed the way I think about brushing my teeth. Because it's very powerful, but the bristles are very gentle. It doesn't hurt me. And it redefines what it means to have super clean teeth. I'm telling you, I'm running my tongue along my teeth. It's
Me
like
too.
the same feeling when you just leave the dentist. I love this toothbrush. I am so excited about it.
I love it too because, I am a real science bitch and I love sonic cleaning is like a really scientifically proven form of great cleaning.
Yeah, it's really incredible. Plus, what I like is that you charge the battery and then the battery life is a whole 30 days. So you can travel with it and not have to worry about the charger. I can charge it and then just like put the charger away. It makes it so much easier for me. And I use Gentle because I have sensitive gums, but there are 6 unique cleaning modes. And they also do tongue mode. So you can brush your tongue, which is the best.
Yeah, that's so great. And it does that thing, the 2-minute timer with quad pacers so that you know that you're spending the right amount of time in each section of your mouth, which really makes my heart sing because I want to make sure that I'm doing a good job.
Also, they've got a subscription plan, so they'll ship a pack of replacement brush heads to your door. The Brush kit includes the electric toothbrush, 3 brush heads, and a magnetic charging station and a travel case, which is amazing. I really do enjoy that there are 3 different brush heads because I've been actually making one of my children
use it as well. Great.
With me. And so I just like switch the brush head out.
And they have a 90-day return policy because they believe so much in their own product.
You're not going to return it. But listen, I have even better news. Get 20% off when you pick up your Brush brush kit and plan when you go to brush.com/busy. So it's BRUUSH.com/busy. That's 20% off when you go to brush.com/busy. BRUUSH.com/busy. You're going to love it. Mine's pink. It's so cute. Ooh, Sakara, Sakara, you know we love you. You know we're gonna eat your Sakara. Wait, is that weird? Kind of weird.
Yeah, I liked it.
I love Sakara. Guys, you know that we love Sakara. Feeling your best starts with what you eat. Full stop. And Sakara helps you to not just live a healthy, balanced lifestyle, but also for you to truly enjoy it. It's got with delicious plant-rich meals, functional wellness essentials that build a foundation for radiant health. Listen, the plant-rich, ready-to-eat meals and functional wellness essentials nourish your body with whole organic ingredients that will retrain your palate and help you break up with that sweet tooth for good. Get rid of it. I do find a difference when I reset with Sakara. I then am able to kind of like, I'm like, oh, it's not every night I need ice cream. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right. Which is like, we've all been on that train. We've all been on that train.
Well, Sakara is a wellness company anchored in food as medicine. They're on a mission to nourish your body through the power of plants. And it gives you the tools that you need to transform your life with organic, ready-to-eat meal delivery that comes right to your door with powerful plant-based ingredients. It boosts your energy, makes your skin glow, makes you look amazing and feel even better, which is like the big deal for me.
Right. You look amazing when you feel great.
Yes. It shines. You shine from the inside out. And right now, Sakara is offering our listeners 20% off their first order when they go to sakara.com/busy or enter code busy at checkout. That's Sakara, SAKARA.com/busy. And you're going to get 20% off your first order. Sakara.com/busy.
Well, Sierra, this is how we do it on this podcast.
I love it.
We just like add you into the conversation, start talking, and then at some point I'm like, as the producer, oh shit, we should introduce Sierra. Everybody, we're so excited today that she could join us because we've been trying to get her to join us for so long. It's Sierra Teller Ornelas, who we have known via social media for so long. She's a really talented writer. That's where I am just like so in awe of her. She is the showrunner for Rutherford Falls on Peacock, which is like Girls Five Evas
sister show.
Peacock
Friend show.
Yeah.
Down the dial. And the new season, the second season, is just up on Peacock now. You can watch it now. And so we're so excited to have you here, Sierra. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much for having me. Before I start, I have to before I start, Yat Sierra Ornelas She, Tabahe Nishle, Nakai Nebashichi, Twahaglin Dishache, Do Nakai Dene Additionally. My name is Sierra Teller Ornelas. I'm a member of the Navajo Nation. I am Edgewater clan, born for the Mexican clan. Traditionally, when we speak in front of a bunch of people, we always start by saying our clans in case there's any Navajos listening. And yeah, thanks so much for having me here today. I'm very, very excited.
Sierra,
I love that too. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Tucson. My mom is from the Navajo Nation on the New Mexico side. So she's in between this town called Newcomb, New Mexico, which is in between Gallup and Shiprock. And then I grew up, she met my dad in Phoenix. And then I was born in Phoenix, raised in Tucson for most of my life. But we went back up a lot when I was a kid.
That's where I'm from, you know.
You're from Arizona?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm from Scottsdale.
No way.
Yeah.
I went to Kachina Elementary.
What? I went to Cochise.
No way. I went with
You're younger than me.
No, I think we're the same age. I was Calico Cooper, Alice Cooper's daughter, and I went to kindergarten together because she lived on like the good side of Camelback Mountain, and we were the trash bags at the bottom of the mountain. But we all went to the same elementary school. But I lived in Phoenix for like a few years when I was like a little.
I can't remember. My friend Kate, maybe went to Kachina.
Yeah.
I was at Cochise. But then you didn't go to middle school or high school there.
No, because my brother had breathing problems. We were living on the reservation, and he was born really, really premature. And he had to get airlifted to University Medical Center in Tucson. And so my mom and my dad were there for weeks watching over him. And my dad started walking around the university. And his grandfather, Tito Flores, was one of the first Latinos to graduate from the pharmacy program at the University of Arizona. And he had the only integrated drugstore on Congress downtown. And so everyone knew Tito Flores at the time, like it was like your grandparents knew him, that kind of thing. And so people at the school were like, if you ever want to go become a pharmacist, let us know. We could like help you do that. And so he and my mom were like, should we try to do this? My mom's like a Navajo tapestry weaver. She's like a master Navajo weaver. And so she kind of wove rugs, and like we lived like rug to rug, and she put him through pharmacy school. And so we ended up moving from the res but before that, we had to go back to Phoenix to get his like undergrad done. And then we came to Tucson to do the pharmacy school. So it was like kind of this weird. Amazing. Yeah, it was really fun. Like I loved growing up in Tucson because we grew up in this thing called Christopher City. It was dorms for families. So it was all just like single moms going to school, and then like international families. And so growing up, and Tucson's like, Arizona's so homogenous, but like I grew up with people from like every continent, all different types of people. And so I really love Tucson a lot. And so, yeah, that's how my dad, so sort of like a vagabond, weird artist lifestyle for the first like 12 years of my life. And then my dad got a job at Walgreens, and it was just like full suburbs after that. It was like very weird.
Was just like Walgreens.
Was that a wild change?
Oh, yeah.
Walgreens
I was like
in suburbs?
I did not. I think like, because I used to work at the Smithsonian. I worked in museums for many years, and like I could not handle like getting paid every 2 weeks. It like freaked me out because I was used to like my mom getting like a chunk of money and having to stretch it for months. And then once I got into TV writing, I was like, this is way more comfortable. Like the stress of like cancellation and like staffing season,
feast or famine.
It totally feels better to me than just like a weekly paycheck. I like freak out.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a ton of sense. And now I'm starting to get a picture of where so many of the great ideas from Rutherford Falls come from. Your brilliant mind.
You're so sweet. Well, it's co-created with me and Mike Schur and Ed Helms.
Yes.
Two fun unknowns, and myself. And then but yeah, no, I mean, I grew up in museums. My mom, demonstrated like at the British Museum, and we lived in England for a couple months. Like I would always like befriend security guards and like run around the back hallways and stuff. And like she was an artist in residence at this museum called the Herd in Phoenix. And so,
I know the Herd Museum.
You know the Herd.
I went to the Herd Museum every year.
Of course, you have to.
Of course.
And so my brother like learned to walk. He was like a baby in the Sandra Day O'Connor room. There was like this like stairwell.
That's kind of amazing.
And so yeah, I grew up like around museum folks, and also like knowing what it's like to feel like an exhibit. And so I feel like I'm like uniquely prepared to create the show and to write for it.
Right. If you haven't watched Rutherford Falls, I'm very excited for you all to watch the first season. I love a sitcom. I am a big fan of a sitcom, and I love a very funny sitcom, but I always love if there's something extra to it. And I feel like Rutherford Falls is such a loving show.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell that, the characters love each other for the most part. They have like wonderful friendships and very honest friendships. But you can tell that that's like an extension too of the love that everybody feels for each other behind the scenes. And Ed Helms is such a great guy. We had Janice meeting on the podcast.
Yes.
We were really, I felt so silly after that podcast because we were angling to become Janice's best friend so hard now. Because we were like bonding over Willow, the movie Willow.
Oh, the best.
Our love of the movie Willow, and we were like trying to rope her into doing like a watch back party. Maybe we still will. Maybe. I don't know. She hasn't followed up, but she's been busy making Rutherford Falls.
It sounds like she ghosted you. It sounds like you got ghosted by Jana.
I don't want to say that about her. She can say that about herself to us, but I'm holding out hope that we can still have some type of Willow Film Festival. But just such a really great cast, and it's really entertaining. And I always love like where does Rutherford Falls like fictionally, like where would it be in the country?
We say like the Northeast, so it's like an East Coast kind of show, and then and we have like some writers that are from, that area. Mike Schur is from Massachusetts and Connecticut. And so we kind of draw from everyone's experiences and stuff.
So it's not a specific state. That's why it's so cozy to me, because I'm from New England too.
Yeah, it's like a very New England Northeasty kind of vibe and stuff. I'm from, I said, Arizona. So I've, often defer to people in terms of the experiences and stuff growing up. But I love our show. I do think there's like a real warmth to it. I think like when Native people are depicted on TV, it's usually like pretty tragic. Like a lot of times we've had a lot of actresses come up and be like, it's so nice to like be on a show and live. Like, this is so cool. Cause like usually like they don't really make it to the third act because like the white cop needs to solve a mystery and they're usually the victims of the show. And so, so it's crazy. Like this woman, Kimberly Guerrero, who I love, she played Winona on the episode of Seinfeld where he went on a date with a Native woman. It's called The Cigar Store Indian. It's famous amongst Native Americans. I can tell not everyone knows it, but she killed it on that episode and then didn't get to do comedy until we cast her as Terry's wife on our show. And she was like, this is so awesome just to be like a person and a mom and get to like turn jokes. And so it's been really cool to see like a lot of actors who don't get as many opportunities to do comedy, like come in and just kind of kill it. It's been really cool.
That's amazing. Well, there's two shows that I've been watching that are featuring Native characters in Native life, and that's Reservation Dogs and Rutherford Falls. And I know that Jana's been on both shows, but what is that like? Did you ever expect that to be the case, to have like Native-led shows?
I mean, I think that was always like the dream. Like people have talked about it for years. I worked in at the Film and Video Center at the National Museum of the American Indian. And so we've been programming films. Like Native people have been making media since like the 1920s. We've been doing it for a very long time. And then we have like a long history of like, storytelling. We're like the original storytellers. So that love of storytelling has always existed. But I think like we were all just sort of like something eventually is going to hit. Like I remember when Transparent came out and Pose came out, I looked up the population of trans people in the United States and it was like pretty comparable to Native people. And I was like, okay, like we're getting close. Like I can feel it. Like it's going to happen soon. I've been working in TV for about 12 years. And I've just sort of been waiting and kind of getting smarter and getting sharper. And it's been really, but I, came up with people like Sterling Harjo, who showruns Reservation Dogs and co-created it. And, Sydney Freeland, who's directed so many amazing episodes of our show and Res Dogs. And it's just been like, it's so cool to see all the people you kind of grew up with in this like Native film industry, all just hit and all get to make shows. Like me and Sterling were talking and we're saying like, it's crazy that our kids are just going to grow up with like Native TV shows. Like it's not even going to be something they have to like hope for or wonder if it'll ever happen. Like they just grow up with it. And so, I mean, and what's so cool is like all the shows are so different. So like they're all really good. They're all really critically acclaimed. And it's like not a surprise because we've worked so hard to be good at this, but it's also like, they're all so different. And like, that's what I think is really cool.
Yeah. Something for every fan of every type of genre.
And just that Native people aren't like a monolith. Like we're not all going to make the same thing,
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that is always so important in, I don't know, all of this, like in entertainment and trying to get like more people with more voices out into like mainstream media. Because like you said, like there have been filmmakers, native filmmakers. There have been like, people making things for a long time, but to get the opportunity on these major networks. I'm curious what your feeling is in terms of that side of it, like the Hollywood film side of it. Like how are things shifting are you seeing for you, like in opportunities that you're having now, even though Rutherford Falls is still going and we hope it goes longer? Do you guys know yet?
No, we don't know. We just premiered like a week ago, so we have to wait the like.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Congratulations. This is the premiere.
Yes.
Guys. I know. Sierra, I don't watch anything.
Please,
I haven't
totally
even watched. I haven't watched the finale of Girls 5 Eva yet. Don't tell anyone.
I won't tell anyone. There's so much TV.
Honestly, it's too much TV.
There are some shows like Mira Sorvino and Courtney Cox that I did not know existed. I saw it on like a for your consideration like thing, and I was like, "That
you're
looks
informing me.
That looks like a fake show from like 30, like a fake 30 Rock show." Like I was like, "There's no way this is real. This is like a typo." And then I looked it up, and it's been on for a while. And I watched it like
in its 4th season. That was what I said about the Chris Rock on Fargo.
Being on Fargo, Chris.
I was like,
did you know Chris Rock was on Fargo? And
did you know that?
No,
Sierra?
I did know that, but I've also never seen an episode of Fargo. So it's like one of those things. But it's just
me neither. I auditioned for the 2nd season of Fargo, and I was really bummed that I didn't get it. And then I never watched it. So
there's just too much.
Well, wait, but Mike, I guess my question is, with all of that, okay, right. So there is too much, but it still feels like there's underrepresentation.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
so like, what are you feeling now in terms of like, do you feel like is the vibe that you get like, there are more people that are interested in like wanting to, talk to you, listen to pitches, make movies, make shows with you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think like there's more interest. I think that, it's a weird thing where like there's more interest and it's an exciting time. I think we're all sort of worried that this is going to be like a moment and not forever. And we're all very focused on making sure it's forever. So like in our room, all the writers, but especially the native writers, there's like a teaching hospital of like, this is how you run a show. This is how you do this. This is how you do that, so that they could like go on and run their own shows. Like I think
that's what I was asking.
And I think Sterling's the same way. I think Sydney's the same way. I think like you are really working hard to kind of close that gap so that the people who are coming up before you. So like I'm developing with one of the writers from Rutherford Falls this year. I want to like sell a show with them and another native comedian. I really want to like keep this going and keep that momentum going. And so to me, that's the main thing. And then in terms of it being like a mainstream thing, I think that like a lot of times you can get pigeonholed and sort of like, we're going to reboot XYZ show from the 90s, but with Polynesians, or like, but with Native Americans, or but with, you know what I mean? And so like that has been like sort of a weird position we've been in, or there's like so much, like I've been offered the same reboot like 5 times from 5 different people. I won't say which show it is, but it's like, and there's like no way. They're like, but from a native perspective. And I'm like, it's set in the 1700s, and there's no way to do it from a native perspective without it getting
work.
Without it being like dark. It's not gonna be like a family friendly, like ABC family like show. It's gonna be like genocide. And they're like, or like, but like prairie skirts. And you're like, no, dude, we can't like, there's no way to do that. So sometimes it's like one of those things where like the things that they're offering you, you have to be like, yeah, that's impossible. Or at least I don't want to do it. I don't want to spend the mental energy doing that. I just want to tell my own stories or tell my own things. So that can be kind of difficult. But I do think like the interest is palpable. Like it's better. But like a lot of people are like, we did it, guys. And I'm like, no, we did not do it yet. Like we're in the middle of it. We're still like trying to get so many people in and get so many people opportunities.
Right. We just need to keep it going. I have a friend who's a Native American writer, and she's like won so many awards for her writing. She's a really beautiful writer, and she's moving into the TV space, and people are so interested in her. And the comment that she keeps getting is, we'd want to pair you with a Native showrunner. And there aren't that many, and they're all working on something at this moment, which I'm like, well, that's good. But also the fact that there aren't any that you can refer her to, that's your fault, networks, like.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those weird things where like, if you're a white guy and you make a short at Sundance that does well, you can get like a Jurassic Park movie. But like if you are from a marginalized community and you've worked a lot, you could be like co-EP level, you could be supervising producer level, and like you don't get the same like benefit of the doubt, I feel, as like some people who just kind of show up. And
you have to establish some track record to prove.
You have to establish some track record. And I also kind of wish there was like a list of like approved like non-native people, because like there are people I've developed with that where I was like, you should work with this person or you should work with that person. And like that, where they really advocate for the writer and they want, it's just such a crapshoot. It's like an arranged marriage where once you get assigned a showrunner, and even if they were native, like it's hard to like, that sort of like arranged marriage situation can be so difficult. But it's like such bullshit to be like, oh, there's only a few native showrunners. And if they're busy, because of course we're going to be busy, then that's like all the reason to like throw up your hands. And it's like, no, you don't do that for other people. So the benefit of the doubt thing is like so frustrating.
Yeah. I was going to say, but you've obviously you worked with Mike Schur on what, Brooklyn Nine-Nine? What do you
I worked with Mike on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and then I developed with Ed. But I've been the showrunner both seasons because I've worked in TV forever. So we co-created the show. He was, like in the same way, like on Brooklyn, he was working with Dan Gore. It's a collaboration, but I'm the showrunner.
Which is fucking great.
It's a fun job.
Well, you're busy and you can't help my friend.
I think that like, no, I can't. I feel like, yeah, I mean.
Although, is she at Universal? Maybe.
I mean, honestly, why not? Look at how many shows dudes do.
It's true.
Also, by the way, because how many episodes do you guys do? 8?
We did 8 this year.
Yeah. Because Peacock's only 8 episodes. It's like essentially like you're not working. I mean, you know.
I know.
We always joke that Busy's job is part-time.
Yeah.
It's
hard, not
though,
really.
I feel like I've worked so hard on the promotion of the show. Like I just finished. So like we stopped making it in February. I feel like we stopped editing it in March. But like March to now, I've been like carrying my tired wares around town and like
that's true.
Just filibustering for the show. So like
but like I don't get paid for that. No, you don't get paid for that. Yeah, we don't get paid to promote the shows.
If anything, we're paying to promote the show. We're like paying publicists and like we're actually spending our own money.
Yeah, we are. That's true.
And your time.
I'm like, it's kind of fucked up. Like, I'm kind of not down with that.
Like, I will say this, like, the benefit of being, though, on, like, Peacock, which is, like, a brand new network, is I feel like we're all underdogs together. Like, we're all, like, working like crazy as a team, which is nice. Like, there's, like, certain networks, I think, like, that are, like, legacy, that are such machines that, like, I don't feel a part of it. And because a lot of the stuff has to be native specific, what I do like about, like, especially our publicity team, who I think is amazing, is, like, you can give notes on stuff. And I feel like it's not going up 17 chains. Like, you feel like you're a part of it. And that is nice. Like, I would be very afraid to be a part of something that I didn't have as much control over. Just because the quality control of the native stuff, you want to make sure it's not lame, that we don't look lame. Because we've looked lame for so long that, like, you know what I mean? It's, like, been done badly so often that, like, what I do love is, like, everyone is, like, hungry to do it right on our team. And that's, like, really nice.
Well, I love that too. That's true. So I guess I can deal with having to pay my stylist out of my
Well, you don't want people who watch you on Seth to be like, that lady needs to calm down and she needs a belt.
But it's actually been cool too because there's so many, especially like the Reservation Dog kids, like and Jana, I would say, like we are all promoting like all these new like native designers, native jewelry makers. Like, not just on the show, but, like, all these red carpet walks is, like, an opportunity for us to kind of hype different native artists. And that has been really awesome to say, like...
That's really cool.
Yeah, like, when you answer, what are you wearing? And you get to say all these different native, like, designers. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that.
I love looking at Jana's Instagram and all the designers and the beaded jewelry that she often features. Somebody that we know who does beading. I think it's a TV writer who does beading.
Daisy Dungy.
Yeah. Is she the one that made the Prince earrings? And like thousands of people sent those to me and were like, you have to see these. And they were amazing. And I was delighted to see it every single time someone sent it to me.
she wrote on season 2 of Rutherford Falls, and she's amazing. She's like,
and she wrote on Girls Five Eva.
And she's
weirdly,
the best. But like,
I just had a script. I just was like, I just moved out of the way. Episode 104, written by A.Z. Dungy.
She's the best.
And Anna Dresden.
But so many of our writers are beaters and quill workers, and it's been like I always say I would have hired Jana based on her beadwork. Like if that was my sample, like I would have like 100% hired her.
Wait, but so your mom was a weaver.
She is
a Navajo weaver. She is still. Yes. And you weave too, yeah?
I do, yeah. I weave less now, but I weave more. I wove more when I was like in my 20s.
Do you love it?
I do like it's weird. It's like something you grew up doing. So like I never knew it was like a special thing to know how to do until like we'd go to like a museum or something and there'd be like giant pictures of my mom's name places and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I love weaving. It's very meditative. And it like allowed me during the summers to like watch a lot of television because my mom's rule was like as long as you're weaving, you can watch as much TV as you want. And so I would just weave all day and watch TV into the night. We were like binge watching before that was a thing. And then my son is getting older to the point where he can probably start learning. And so I think we're gonna.
How old is he?
He's 6.
Oh, okay.
And so
I bought like some weaving thing online because I wanted to learn how to do it, and I never did.
Well, my mom teaches weaving classes. Her and her sister, they wrote this book on weaving, and they've written 2 books on weaving, and now teach classes. They're up in Idlewild, California, right now, teaching at the school.
Oh, at the camp? Mm-hmm. At camp?
Yeah, there's like adult camp,
the arts camp,
and they teach the adult arts camp. So,
that's awesome.
There's an adult camp. I want to go to camp. What are you talking about?
There's like a kids camp during the summer, but then there's also like adults. So like adults can learn like silversmithing and pottery and wood carving and weaving. You got to come up.
Excuse me. How the fuck do I not know about this? I want to go to camp.
Get on it. You like spend the night there, and it's like 1 week or 2 weeks. But they have this whole crew of like older women who just adore them. They're like rock stars up there.
Wait,
and they like
Sierra. This is going to sound weird.
Okay.
If we did a camp, me and Caissie, like put together a camp with the people that listen to our podcast, like a weekend, would you come and teach me how to weave?
My mom would. My mom and aunt definitely would.
But would you just come and hang out?
I'll come and hang out. I'll take the class because I could stand to have a refresher. But yeah, no, they've definitely done like they do in-person classes or like one-on-ones and stuff like that too.
Oh, that is really
it's amazing.
Cool. I've never gone to a camp before. Like growing up, like all the kids around me went to camp, and it's such a lifelong dream to like attend a camp that I also think I would probably hate after 2 days, like sleeping in a cabin. But I would like the classes.
Yes, of course. I went to Christian camp 1 year because I'm not Christian, but my friend was, and she was like, come with me. And I was like kind of searching and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was like, I had to ask all these questions because they're like, does anyone have any questions? And then we can go swim in this Olympic-sized pool. And I was like the only one with questions. And they finally were like, Sierra, just say you love Jesus so we can go swimming. And I'm like, no, I have like real questions about like mortality. And they're like, we just want to go swimming. Just say you love Jesus. I'm like, oh, fine. It was not a great week for me, but it was beautiful.
They were all in it for the activities, but you were actually
I was like searching my soul theology styles, and they were like, we don't care. I was like, okay, cool.
My camp tales are well documented, but I never successfully went to sleepaway camp.
Why not?
Because I was a mess. And I tried 2 times. The first time, the 3 days before I was leaving for camp, I fell off of a skateboard and dislocated my knee and cracked it in half and had to have emergency surgery. And then my mom convinced the camp to they rolled the tuition over to the next year because it was like a lot of money for my mom, like my parents to spend on, to send me to sleepaway camp because sleepaway camp is expensive.
It's expensive.
And then the following year, I got mono. But my mom was so pissed that they sent me anyway.
No.
Like they sent me to camp with mono, but they didn't know I had mono. They just thought I was like sick, but I was real fucking sick. And so I spent just 1 week in the infirmary at the camp, and then they just sent me home.
Did you get there and they're like, this girl has mono? Or was it like a mystery
I got
for a couple
there,
days?
I don't know how to describe to you how sick I was. I was so ill. And like I couldn't, like my mom had taken me to the doctor like the day before we were leaving. I was supposed to leave for camp. And the doctor was like, this doesn't look good, but I don't know what it is. We'll do the mono test. We'll get it back in several days. Did a strep test. It wasn't strep. And I think my mom was like, well, since it's not strep, it's probably just a cold.
Right.
And I don't know. My mom just made me go because she was so mad. Like, I don't know, whatever. And it wasn't, she wasn't mad at me. She was just like,
the situation.
The situation.
Planning,
right.
Just roll the dice.
Any parent who's been planning to get rid of their kid for 2 weeks.
Yes.
And has been looking forward to it would feel similarly.
It's like the hell now of like COVID where your kid, God bless, like does not have COVID, but they have some sort of sniffle and you just have to pull them. And they're like, we'll see you in 5 days. And like, I'm glad they do it because I think it's the right thing to do. However, it is just like your week is gone. Like there's nothing you can do about it. And it's like,
there's nothing to be done. It's insane.
It's insane.
Also like, we did get COVID finally after 2 years. Everybody in my house, my kids got it. Like, but because COVID, like any other illness, doesn't hit everyone at the same time.
Yes.
So we were literally like, my kids couldn't go back to school until everyone was all clear. These children were out of school for like 3.5 weeks or something.
Right.
Because I think school's been out for a few days now. I think Birdie still owes some projects. I don't know. Like it's, yeah. It's intense. It's intense.
It's a lot. Yeah. Well, Sierra, on this podcast, we like to ask our guests, because the reason we started this podcast is because it was like a pivot moment for Busy and I. We had our TV show, and it was canceled. And then we had another thing that we were trying to do, and then the pandemic happened, and we were just constantly pivoting to like a new plan. And so we love to ask our guests like to share a pivot story, like a time in your life. We've kind of already talked about some pivots that you've had, but just a time in your life where you thought you were gonna go one way and then something happened and you went an unexpected way for whatever reason, your decision, someone else's decision, fate's decision, and just like how that all went. You got one?
Yeah, I think so. Well, like my parents are sort of like no net people. They just kind of roll the dice and do it. Like my dad's never made a hotel reservation. He just like shows up places and drives around and like checks in places. It's enraging, but it's also kind of just like how we were always raised. And we ended up spending the night in cars a bunch. But, and so when I was a kid,
kind of with that.
It's pretty cool. When I was a kid, my mom and my dad got invited to go to the British Museum, and it was part of this like huge exhibit it was like the Americas Festival. It was like all the art of the Americas. So it was like quilt making and jazz and like native art. And so we went there for, I want to say like a month. And we ended up, we were on a kid show. This is a very long story. Anyway, we're on a kid show to promote the exhibit. And these people who were making an Al Pacino movie called Revolution and they were like, we need native background actors. Can you be in this movie? And we were like, we're leaving in a couple weeks. And like, we'll put you up in a hotel so you can stay, because they needed like actual native people. So we ended up staying, and my brother is named Michael after Michael Corleone. So he, like, the fact that like we were going to meet Al Pacino was like a huge deal. And we got to like meet him, and we were to this like incredible like movie studio where like there was a giant cave that was made of styrofoam. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. I'd like never been on a film set before or anything. So anyway, we go back to my res, and my dad was like, we got to make a big swing. Like, we got to get out of here. We need to we can't stay here. Just because at the time, we were living like 3 families in one house. Like there's like families who live on the res and, have like nice lives and great jobs. We were not one of those people. We were living like 3 families in one house. And my dad's like, we got to make a big swing. And so my mom and my aunt ended up weaving this giant rug. They called it the big rug. It took them 2 years to weave. 4 years total. They fought for 2 years. So total, it took them 4 years to weave. And it won Best of Show at the Santa Fe Indian Market. It was like the first time in the history of that market that a textile had won. And it was like a huge move for us. They sold it for $60,000, which in the late 80s was like this insane amount of money. Like really changed our life. It's what helped my dad get into college. It's what had us move back to Arizona. And so anyway, I always like remembered that and just like the bravery it took for them to kind of like bet big on themselves. And so I was working at the National Museum of the American Indian. It was a Smithsonian job. And you met people there who worked there for like 30 years. Like they love that museum work. They really believe in the work that they're doing. But my job position was one where I'd sort of hit the ceiling on what I was going to do. So unless like someone died or retired, I was never going to move up. And the only way to kind of move up in the Smithsonian is to like go to a different Smithsonian museum and then come back, which I didn't want to do because I was working.
That's
like,
so weird.
I don't want to work at Air and Space. Like I wanted to like, it was the Native American part that I loved more than the museum part. And so I didn't know what to do. And I was like really, kind of stagnating. And I also felt bad because I was like, if I keep doing a bad job here, no one will ever notice. But there's like a Native person who could have had this job, who could have, really loved it and was excited by it. And so I was just watching Hulu a bunch at my desk, and I would just watch it all day long. It was like Hulu had just come out. So I was watching like 30 Rock and Community, and I really wanted to write for television. And they were offering these classes for Native writers to come out to Santa Fe and learn how to write for television. So I wrote like a really bad 30 Rock. It was like a Halloween episode. It was 22 pages because I'd read it was like a minute a page. So it was like 10 pages shorter than like most samples are supposed to be. It was really bad, but I got in and wrote a better sample and then came back and applied for like every program I could think of. And I got into this program for Latino writers, but it was in LA. They would like pay to have you live in LA for like 3 months. And so I was like, my parents made a big swing back when like they were the same age that I was. And I was like, and I don't have any kids like they did. I don't have like a mortgage. I had a very nice boyfriend that I broke up with, and I put all my shit in storage, and I quit my job that day. That's like the day I got it. And then I came out to LA, and then I've been here ever since. I had to like come back I got into a different program, the Disney program, and I had to go back to DC. My friend Melissa Bazzani and I drove cross country. And it was cool because we got to meet all these Native filmmakers whose films we programmed because we befriended them. We did this like awesome Native filmmaker tour of the United States. And then I showed up in LA. And then like 6 months later, I got placed on a show called Happy Endings, which was my first TV show. And that was in 2010.
We know Happy Endings.
Heck yeah, baby. And then I got to stay. But it was like one of those things where like it was a huge swing. And I'd kind of come from people who made huge swings, and it worked out in like a real way.
I love that. And I love that it like, well, I think that it's really interesting, right? Because we talk also a lot about the guilt we feel sometimes and like the decisions that we make as parents and like just making decisions about our careers and things like that. So I love hearing a story of like when you were a kid and your parents really decided like this is something that we want to do, not just career wise, but just like life wise, like kind of taking a big swing, as you said, and like in something that you're good at and something that you're passionate about, leading to something else that someone else was good at, like giving your dad an opportunity. So that's like really reaffirming to me about all the times when I felt like, oh gosh, like is me devoting my attention and my effort to this the best thing for my family? And like sometimes it might not be in that moment, it might not feel like it, but sometimes like it really, really pays off. And it sounds like, well, you said it changed all of your lives. That's amazing.
Sure. And sometimes you don't realize like the big decisions you're making is like not just setting the scene for your kid's life, but also you're like setting an example. Like you're like sort of like mimicking something that they know is normal, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like a good feeling for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's like, I learned it by watching you.
Yeah. It can be a good thing. Sometimes it's a positive thing. Exactly.
Right. And I just feel like, your kids do. They're watching. They're constantly watching. And that's awesome. I love it. Do your parents know that, like,
yeah.
Have you said that? Have you told them this?
Oh, yeah.
version? They know.
They know. I mean, I think sometimes it's harder. My dad has been in recovery for many years, and I think it's harder for him to really like absorb all the good stuff that he did. But it was actually kind of nice because my mom is like so famous and so well known, and like she can really work a room, and you know, she comes from an art background, and I think he kind of gives her a lot of the credit for my career. But it was really nice when we had our premiere. Ed said really kind things as we were introducing the show. But one of the things he talked about was my kindness. He was like, she's got a lot going on for her, but the big thing that you don't often see in Hollywood is like she's very kind. And my dad did like, not to credit for it, but he was like, okay, that was a huge part of me, like when I raised you, I wanted you to be kind. And he was like, it was such a huge like feather in his cap that like someone called that out in such a public way. And it was a really like lovely moment for my dad, weirdly. So yeah, I think they're starting, especially as they've gotten older, to kind of like connect the dots more.
I love that. Good,
I love that. I love that. And then what about, I know your son is little, but does he like have an awareness of what you do? Does he think it's cool?
He does. He really, it's hard because with COVID, you can't have them come to set or come to the office.
I know.
So he kind of has no
sad.
idea what we do. And so, we FaceTime a lot and kind of show him around set. And then I'm constantly working. So he's very aware that like mom is very busy, but he's seen some episodes. Or what's weird is Ed is the voice of like Captain Underpants and on a bunch of other anime shows. So I'll be like, I'm friends with Captain Underpants. And he's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. And he's like very impressed by that. So that's been kind of helping him to understand, this is how this stuff gets made. But it's slower for him, I think, because he's little.
Yeah. I think it's weird for kids to have an understanding unless they're around it. Like Birdie always has really understood it because from the time when Bird was a year old, they were on the set of Cougar Town like every single day. And Cricket just did not have that same experience and continues to not have that same experience and continues to not have a full understanding of A, what it is that I do, or B, like how it all gets made, like how everything happens, It's
also got to be such a mind fuck for your kids too, because like they see you on screen. Like no one sees me. I'm like behind the camera. So I think it's almost like easier to understand where it's like, you as your mom and now you're seeing this character on TV. It's got to be like a weird.
They don't like it. They don't like it.
I would imagine so. It's got to be very difficult.
My kids went to daycare at the Rosie O'Donnell show, and so they were always on set. So I think they had, my older son particularly, my younger son was really little. So I think it was so weird for my older son because he'd be like, I know Mr. Rogers. Like, yeah, I know Mr. Rogers or whatever. And like, I remember one time where he was like, came over to me and he was like, those kids are saying, I don't know Beyonce. And I was like, he does actually know her a little bit. Like, have hung out a little bit. But just a weird, like, I think to him, he wasn't like name dropping, like we would now, but he was like, yeah, I know those people. I've hung out with those people. And it was so weird for him because he thought like everyone knows Mr. Rogers. Everyone has like hung out and, helped Beyonce and Destiny's Child rehearse a song. Everyone does that. But Destiny's Child just happened to be obsessed with the kids in the nursery. So they would always bring them around, have them hang out at their rehearsals.
No big deal. No big deal, guys.
No big deal. I know. I mean, this was an exciting moment for me. I've told this on the podcast before, but it bears repeating. I went to go get my son from the daycare to like take him to lunch, and they said, oh, Destiny's Child is on the show today. So they took the kids down to the studio and so I went and down to the studio, and they weren't like, she wasn't Beyonce, that it was Destiny's Child,
she was always Beyonce, but yes.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not nearly as famous as they all are now. But I went into the studio and Beyonce had my son on her hip, and she said, oh, there's your mom. Tell your mom what I taught you to say. And he said, Beyonce is my fiance. And then I was like, this will be very cool in 20 years. We'll still be dining on those fumes.
Oh my God, anyway, I love her so much.
Anyway, I know the new song. I'm very excited.
I know. It's great.
You guys, I haven't listened to it yet.
You have to listen to it. It will
obviously.
only take you a few minutes.
I know, but I just haven't had time.
Oh my gosh.
I went like I went like right before it was open. Nope. Uploaded. What? Released. Sometimes my brain is not working great. But anyway, and then I was just like, well, I'll come back. Like I did. It wasn't available. And it wasn't even like popping because then I was like, well, can you only get it on Tidal? I was confused.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to get it right now.
It was sent to me at 11 p.m. and I listened to it immediately. I was like so excited.
Well, I actually obviously need a friend like your friend who sent it to you because no one did that for me. Well, Sierra, we love you. Thank you for talking with us. And I mean, honestly, guys, just get into it. Watch Rutherford Falls. Wait, so you're doing, did they release the first 3 or just
No,
one?
So we're all a binge. So all 8 episodes of season 2 are dropped. All 18 episodes.
God, amazing.
It's a fun binge. Some people have been watching it like 3 or 4 times, which makes me so happy because it goes pretty fast. But really, it's all about the first 60 days. So please watch it. Please watch something else after it ends, like whatever it suggests. Just watch like 10 minutes of that. Just to friggin' trick this goddamn algorithm so I can keep making the show. I'm so excited. It's like, I know what it's like to make TV that gets canceled. And like, this is really, really good television. Although I will say a lot of television I made that was canceled was also really good. But
I know that's the thing. So frequently.
It's so hard. Like
the good shows go.
Did you ever see the show Detroiters? It was like Tim Robinson.
I loved it.
That show was so freaking good. And I was like, oh, this is going to run for 10 years. And then it got canceled after 2 seasons. And I was like, and like all the people on that show are famous now. Like Amber Ruffin, like Tim Robinson, all of them. And it's like crazy to me. So you just never know. But
wasn't Sam Richardson?
Sam Richardson, yes.
Yeah. I mean, he's like a huge star.
It's crazy. Yeah. But so I'm holding out deep hope for our show. I love it so much. I'm so proud of the season. It feels so good.
You should be proud of it. It's such a warm and funny show. And, and if you don't know a lot about some of the subjects that are talked about on the show, it's educational too. So, which is great. And it's really funny. I love Ed Helms so much. I love Michael Grey Eyes so much. The whole cast is wonderful. And it's just like, it's a real treat. So if you haven't seen season 1 of Rutherford Falls yet, I envy you. You can get into it and then make sure you watch season 2 multiple times in the next 60 days. Multiple times. You know what I like to do? I like to put on an episode when I'm like, no, I'm going to be going to sleep in a little while. And then I just fall asleep and let that fucker run all night long. Wake up to it. And, and then the algorithm knows that someone was very into it.
Hell yeah.
Well, we are very into it. And I love that we're both from Arizona.
I love that too. I don't know how I did not know that.
I know.
Well. All right, Sierra, we will let you get back to your day. And I guess we'll keep you posted on what's happening with the Willow Festival.
Please let me know. I've got my costume ready.
Hear back about it.
At camp. We're going to do it at camp.
Yeah, you're going to do it at the busy camp.
Camp Busy, obviously.
Camp Busy. Oh my God. I can see the t-shirts already and like the wood font.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Yes. I love it. I always wanted to do it.
Sierra, it's so good to see your face.
So great to see you.
So great to see you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Athletic Greens.
AG1 Athletic Greens is like, they have supported this podcast for so long, but they have also supported Busy's and my health for so long.
Yes. Listen, you guys, this is a product that we use literally every day. It's 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens. And it's a special blend of ingredients that supports your gut health, nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, aging, all the things. And honestly, it's just like, I had one of those things where I was taking 47 different supplements and minerals and all kinds of things. And just doing a scoop of AG1 in either a smoothie or just like in my water.
Just water.
Daily has, taken the place of, like a kind of exhausting like pill routine. It's recommended by professional athletes and leading health experts, but also just us, guys. We just really like it. It's good. We like it. And it tastes good.
Yes, it does.
Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the summer. You want to be out there. You want to like not be getting sick. If you're traveling, 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different little pills and supplements to try to figure out how to take and to look out for your health. AG1 has it all. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/busy. Oh my God. Again, it's athleticgreens.com/busy to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. athleticgreens.com/busy. Helix. Oh my God. I love Helix. We love Helix.
I love
Helix. We love you. Helix. Helix. So listen, we love Helix because you take this quiz, right? It's 2 minutes to go through it, and it matches your body type and the way that you like to sleep to the perfect mattress for you. They're like, oh, everyone's unique. We have many different mattress models to choose from: soft, medium, firm, plus size mattresses, cooling down mattresses.
If you sleep hot, yeah.
If you're sleeping hot, and all you do is answer some questions, and they're like, probably this mattress is the one for you.
Yeah.
You take that quiz, order the mattress they match you to. The mattress comes shipped to your door for free. You're never going to a mattress store again, guys.
Right.
No one wants that.
Right. I was so happy to be matched with a mattress for somebody who moves around all night, because I'm a side sleeper and a stomach sleeper and a back sleeper. And people always want you to just be one of those things, and I'm not. I contain multitudes.
You contain multitudes.
And so I took the Helix quiz, and it set me up with the right mattress for somebody who just can't stay still during the night.
Also, they have a 10-year warranty, and you can try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They will even come and pick it up from you if you don't love it, but you're gonna love it. I promise you will love your Helix mattress. You guys, we love them so much. We both have been sleeping so well on our Helix mattresses for quite some time. It's time for you to get in on the action. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/best. That's $200 off of all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for you at helixsleep.com/best. Get into it. She's a delight.
She is a delight. It really is a really good and really fun show. And since you're already on there, already on Peacock watching Girls 5 Eva, check out Rutherford Falls as well. How are you feeling? But right before we started the podcast, Busy called me to ask if she should eat some turkey that was in her fridge that was like a couple days past the expiration date. And I said yes. But I just want to make sure you're still okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. It feels fine.
It feels fine?
Yeah. I mean, like literally, you know my stomach. My stomach's so wild because it's like I eat expired turkey and I'm fine. And then it's like, you never know. You just never know. And then I eat some other random thing.
Yeah. But I just want to make sure you're not having any turkey troubles.
I'm not having turkey troubles.
Okay.
I am not having turkey troubles. I'm having other troubles, but I'm okay. I don't know. I'm not like... It's weird. I know you were, I don't want to take your not looking forward to your birthday thunder. I'm really, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like, oh, Caissie. it's just, it's hit me like in the weirdest way because it's like not like me. Like I'm like very much a birthday bitch. And it's the summer solstice. Happy summer solstice.
Yes.
Make your, today. So yesterday. And, and there's just like, it's all happening. But I'm just not feeling, I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot going on and like I just feel like I'm dealing with a lot and like it's just I'm having a hard time. Like I'm having a difficult time.
You're not feeling your normal birthday self.
Well, there's nothing, I mean, there are no plans. I have no plans, like
right.
I don't remember. What did I do last year? I don't remember. Did I do anything? I don't remember.
I don't remember what you did.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
It was like COVID-y. Did you go? Were you in South Carolina?
I think actually we were in South Carolina. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Probably. Yeah. Oh, no, we were here.
Oh, did you have people to your place?
No, I think I just went upstate. I went upstate for a couple of days.
All right. Well, whatever. if you could do anything, like if you look in your mind's eye, what would you do?
I don't know.
Anything?
No, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's so weird. It feels weird. I'm just like, I don't know.
Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's like you don't have to do anything on your exact birthday. Maybe you can just celebrate it when you think of what you want to do. Or you can do a bunch of like small celebratory things. I don't know. You weren't asking for my advice, and here I am giving you advice.
That's not it. I mean, no. I've been wanting to do pottery recently.
Okay.
This is on the list.
All right.
I did pottery in college.
Yeah.
My mom, it was this semester, my second semester, sophomore year, my last semester of college. And my mom always would call it my $11,000 ceramics class because it was the only class I really completed that semester because it was when I got the pilot for Freaks and Geeks and I went and shot the pilot and I had so many auditions and callbacks. It was pilot season, which used to be a thing that existed. And so I just totally ditched out on like most of my classes, with the exception of ceramics because I really loved it and I was good at it. But anyway, like I've had this like desire to do it recently, and I was thinking about looking into getting like a pottery wheel for the balcony out there, but they're so expensive.
They are really expensive.
Yeah, and it feels like that's not the vibe for me, like in this moment. So that's probably not going to happen, but I still am like, still want to do it. And then I could probably find some places that have like studios that you can like go in.
When you come here, maybe you can connect with Seth Rogen and he'll do some pottery with you.
I don't know. His skills seem
He's like a
intense.
big pottery star now.
Yeah. I like all those things. Like, I'm like impressed by Sierra's weaving abilities. Like, I like shit like that, like, is that my phone ringing?
Yeah.
It's Michelle Williams. Oh, no, Michelle. No, I can't answer right now. But like I've always liked that stuff. And like, I like doing those kinds of things. But
wait, have you ever watched The Great Pottery Throwdown?
No, but we've talked about it on this show before because you like it so much. I know. And I'm supposed to watch it. I get it. Maybe that's what I want to do for my birthday. Maybe I just want to like sit in this fucking Casa Kismet by myself and like watch Pottery Showdown.
The guy on the Pottery Showdown, he's like a big like tough seeming English guy. Is he English? Yeah. And he cries all the time. You're going to love it. You're going to love him.
I feel him. I feel him deeply. But I've just been having like there's just a lot of shit. Like it just feels like, ugh.
It's a weird time.
I don't know. It is a weird time, and there's so many things, and then at the same time, there's so many things that I'm like feeling a bit like I don't know what the fuck to do. Oh, but you know what I did do this morning?
What'd you do?
I did pull together the stuff for the Poshmark sale.
Oh, great.
And I pulled and like it was already mostly in boxes in the basement of the townhouse, but I went through them, separated some things out. Here's what I want to say, guys. I took the note from last time, and I'm not going to put so many of the like expensive-y high-ender things in there.
Okay.
I feel like people were just like a little bit like, I don't need to buy a Ghani dress. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, because, well, especially right now, where is there to wear anything like that? And also, like, you know, we got a lot of
that shit, I can
Target
go
shoppers.
Yeah, but I can
that we're
sell that
friends
shit
with.
at the Real or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like they'll just take that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And I don't, you know, I want to like, it's so funny because like I think about it, like I think about the people who listen to this podcast, the people who love you and me. And I'm like, I want to make them happy with the stuff that I have. Like I literally was like going through it and I was like, I mean, this dress is so cute. This Madewell dress and like the stuff that sold the best was the stuff that was like that, like the cute ass Madewell shit, the like cute J. Crew stuff. And I have some really cute like Kate Spade stuff. And yeah, I'm just like, so I just sort of like sorted it. And I'm not going to lie, there did end up being like a giant pile of things that aren't going away now.
Well, that always happens with you. You know what I was going to say you could put in there, though, too? I don't know. Is this controversial or not? I was going to say you could put merch samples.
Old merch.
Summer sends us like samples of things that we're trying. And then sometimes like we make a little change to it.
Here's the other thing that I could put in there. Because we somehow Summer made the Girls Five Eva crew gifts for us. And we somehow made like 200 extra. We fucking miscounted or something. Like something happened. And I just have them sitting in my closet. And I feel like we could... why couldn't I sell those? Would you guys want them? They're really cute.
Maybe just put them up for like, you know, a reasonable cost.
Yeah, I think we could put them up. I mean, Sarah and I like, and Paula and Renee, like we already bought them. You know what I mean? Like we already paid Summer for them. So like we can just, I could also ask the girls if they would mind. Like instead of like giving them money back.
Yeah.
We could just donate all that money to something.
Yeah. I think I could let Paula.
I could let Paula pick. Oh my God, they're so cute. You know what they are? Have we ever done a onesie?
Like a sweatsuit onesie?
Yeah.
Oh no. Wait, but you made me think of Eric Gurian's baby
onesie. That was hilarious.
Yes.
And that was insane.
Wait, tell that story.
I don't remember it. I was like,
our friend and colleague from Busy Tonight and Girls Five Eva, Eric Gurian, was having a baby.
Yeah, last season, one.
Mm-hmm. And so
I asked Ray to make sure that they made a onesie for Eric because I didn't even say Eric, the baby. Yeah. I said make sure they make a onesie for Eric because he and Victoria are having a baby, and then Raymond made, I think he made like a full adult size
onesie for Eric.
Zip up onesie. But then this year we decided to give those as gifts.
Oh, I love it.
One for Girls Five Eva because just like they are very comfortable. And we did a thing this year because Summer was doing the merch this time. That was like we had people place orders, and so they could get like sweatpants or a sweatshirt, or they could get the onesie,
Oh, smart. So whatever they wanted.
So many people picked the onesie. It was so cute. And then like on one of the last days, like the entire camera crew wore their onesies and it just was like really adorable. But they're very comfortable and I think I'm going to include them in the Poshmark sale because why not? And yeah, so I like organized some stuff and that felt good. And then
That felt good. Felt like a little bit of a fresh start. Yeah. But also.
Yeah, I'm also really just, trying to wrap my head around the fact that, like, if Birdie's visa comes through, which we'll find out in the next 2 weeks, that that these are actually, like, the last few weeks that Birdie will be in my house for now.
Yeah.
And it's wild. Like, you know, I've like thought about it, talked a lot about it in therapy, but sometimes it just hits me, and I have some friends that are like, "Oh, I know what you're going through." And my kid went to college, and I'm like, "Birdie's just 14, you know, little." Yeah. But at the same time, I want to give the kid what they're asking for and support them. And they know that this is not my first choice, like that I would prefer that they stay with me. But if this is something that they really want to do, I want to support them in their pursuits. And Birdie is just like a very, a person who like really knows who they are and is able to kind of, you know, I feel confident that like if it's not the right choice and Birdie doesn't like it, we'll know, and Birdie will come. Birdie's not going to suffer through anything that's not. This is boarding school. Did we talk about this on the podcast? Did I talk about this at all?
About boarding school?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked about it.
It's hard to know.
It's hard to know. Yeah.
What I've talked about.
It's hard to know. Well, because this is basically the same as therapy and just a regular phone call. So we never know what we have talked about. But listen, this is what I want to say about that is that one thing I have tried really hard to do as a parent is to help my kids live their lives and not the life that I envisioned for them.
Right. That's all you're supposed to do. That's right. All you're supposed to do for your children is help them to live their lives.
A lot of people haven't gotten that from their parents. So I think, like, are you fortunate that you're able to do this? Yes. Am I crossing my fingers that the most best thing happens for Bird? Yes. It might be great for them.
God, I've said it, like, honestly, if I'm being real, I have said this about Birdie since, I don't know, Birdie was like 4 years old. Like, that kid should go to boarding school someday. Because Birdie has always thrived away from me and Mark.
Yeah.
And not that we're like, I don't know, maybe people who are listening have similar experiences with kids and they can understand. It's not that we're not bad parents. I don't think we're bad parents. I think we could do some things better, but like, it's not really about us. It's about Birdie. And the way that Birdie is able to like be the best version of themselves is not with us around. And we've heard it for years. You've had this experience, I know, with your kid.
Yes, for sure. We've talked about it, how just we could say something a million times and it wouldn't make a difference. But coming from someone else, coming from a peer or another adult that our kids respected. And I think everyone who has a kid can probably identify with this in some way. It's why sometimes kids really get into sports, because coaches are able to get through to them in a way that their parents aren't necessarily able to, or able to relate to them in a certain way. And it's scary, right? It's scary because the world is scary, A, but also B, it's scary to like kind of admit that, well, we could use a little help here and a little shift in the way that we're doing things that will be better for the kid. Because again, we're given this picture of like how it is supposed to be. But I've had friends whose kids have gone to boarding school and really thrived because,
yes,
it's not a decision taken lightly.
No, it's not. And like, Birdie's got a couple of friends, by the way, who are going to boarding school next year too. It's way more of an East Coast thing than West Coast. Mostly, West Coast, I think, because there's more boarding schools on the East Coast. but like, I feel like we, as a society, have been doing this all wrong anyway. Like for so many years now, that like communal raising of kids is ideal. Like being around, whether it's your own actual families or if it's, people who you've chosen as your families to help, and you all help each other, and you're, can pick up when the need is there from a parent, like we're just so in this culturally, like in this country, we're so adrift, we're so alone, and we don't have support. And like everybody's like, it takes a village, and it's like, we have no fucking village,
right?
Like we don't,
right?
And I do like, I think the part of I don't know, man. I don't know. This country's like not doing it. It's not doing it. We're not doing it for people. We're not helping people.
We're not doing our best right now.
We're not doing our best like as a country. And then also just like in our communities, like showing up for one another and like making sure that people have resources and have the things that they need. And so many people just have these ridiculous, like horrible beliefs that like that's not the way that it works. Like it's every man, every woman, for every kid for themselves. And
it's a hypocrisy. And that's my most hated. Hypocrisy is my most hated thing, because we can't change everything to be informed by religion and then not be faithful in any way, and not be, all religions are supposed to be based in caring for your community and each other and answering to a God, and nobody's answering to any gods because, it doesn't make any sense. And it's just hypocritical. It's just hypocritical that we want people to have babies that are not necessarily the vision that person had for their life. And we're saying, oh, it's because we're pro-life and it's because we're religious or whatever. Then we don't do anything to assist those people, to help the babies that are born. It's just, listen, we're preaching to the choir here. You all know it's hypocrisy. It's ridiculous. And it's just like, seems to be like some kind of fucking game for these people. And I don't know what the game is, but I really hate it. And so, yeah, it's people feel very on their own right now. And it's a lot. It's a lot. And so, that's a reason why I feel like it's kind of important to like be joyful and to take chances where you can, like Sierra was talking about, and we all have different lives, but I think about like when we took a chance and came out to LA, and Eli stayed on the East Coast and Lincoln came to the West Coast, and like how that was good for Lincoln because, he had lived in the shadow of a brother who had like a more outgoing personality. And, and Lincoln came to the West Coast and he got to like test his ability to be outgoing and to like make new friends and not have everyone always being like, oh, Eli's your big brother, like how it is when you're in a smaller town and you have a sibling or whatever, which I'm sure.
Or even just like in your own house.
Yeah. You know?
I mean, listen, like I don't know.
It takes guts. It takes guts. And, you know, and it'll be okay because nothing is forever, right? As you said, if Bird decides they don't like it, I'm sure they'll let you know. If Bird decides to stick it out for a year, but it's not for them, you know, it's all an adventure, right? What is this fucking life for if it's not for trying things?
So on that note, you know, I moved to New York. Do you remember?
I do remember.
Mm-hmm. I guess maybe because it's like going to be my birthday or whatever. I've been thinking about, yeah. And also just like, I'm always kind of like thinking about light teams,
yeah,
our light teams and our, not like lineage, like in like a way that's like gross, like white supremacy way,
right.
But like just like where you come from and like who were the people that you're related to.
Yeah.
And, you know, because of the way that our world is now, like we don't really know those things. I think like that's part of why people are so weirdly into, you know, 23andMe and like genealogy and all that shit, because
right.
I think we do live such separate, like even just like Sierra, you know, their tribal tradition of naming themselves and where they come from and like who they're of, you
right.
know, like that she did in the beginning of the interview. That's such an incredible piece of who she is, right?
Right.
And similarly, like, other than just being like, I don't know, I'm white, I guess. I don't know.
Well, we've all let it fall away. Like as
right.
Americans, whether it's because of shame or because of like disinterest or whatever.
Well, I think there is shame because I think like, you know, well, depending. I mean,
yeah.
You probably, I mean, I'm sure that in my ancestry, there are people who were, you know, had enslaved people.
Right.
There has to be.
Right.
I mean, I haven't done that thing. Like, do you remember there was that show, like
Who Do You Think
You Are?
Yeah.
And do you remember the like controversy about our best friend Ben Affleck when he was on it?
Yes.
Because they had found that his ancestor had people enslaved and he like didn't want it to be on camera or something. What happened?
Right.
I don't remember exactly.
Something like that. Yeah.
It was something where he got like super weird about it and then just was like, I don't want to talk about that. It was
right.
like,
right.
All right, dude. But we do have to talk about it and we have to like, right. So anyway, okay. So my mom's sister came to New York this past weekend. And, you know, I don't really have like a very close relationship with her or really my uncle, my mom's brother either. Just growing up, like we didn't see them a lot. And we were far away in Arizona and, you know, we just didn't see them a lot. And if you've read my book, there's like, I kind of like talk a little bit about it. Like I think my mom and her sister have always had like a very strained relationship. And, you know, we love Barb Phillips and also just like, but life is weird and whatever. I don't know. So my aunt was in town and was like, I'm in New York and I would love to see you at your convenience. And remember I saw her in Chicago.
Right. Yeah.
In the fall. First of all, I still can't get over that she's 73 because her skin is so good. And I asked, but her like essence is so youthful in person. Yeah. Like the waiter at the restaurant where we were eating at, like she went to the restroom and I was like, okay, for real though. He's like, oh, that's so cute. That's your aunt? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, for real though, how old do you think she is? And he legitimately was like, I don't know, 55, 56.
Wow.
And I was like, sir, she is 73 years old.
Wow.
But so anyway, So I had recommended that she stay at this hotel that I really like.
Yeah.
I really like this hotel. I've stayed there when we were sort of displaced for a while, like Mark and the kids stayed there. Like I always go back to it, and I weirdly filmed a scene from, I don't know how she does it there years ago. Okay. That weird movie that I was in with Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
So it's the Highline Hotel. This is the hotel that I'm talking about. And it used to be the dormitories for the General Theological Society. And the General Theological Society still is there. But I think just...
They don't need dormitories now.
They don't need dorms anymore, yeah. So they sold it to Brodsky, I guess. Why do I know all of this? Because I looked it up. They sold it. It turned into the Highline Hotel in like 2013, 2014-ish. But that was, my aunt had reached out and she was like, shall I stay at this hotel or this hotel? And I was like, I really like the Highline Hotel. I think it's like cozy and small and cute and like it's nice, and it's not like you don't feel like you're in a big hotel surrounded by a ton of people, because I know she's a little COVID sensitive as well, like obviously, as we all should be traveling. So anyway, I go to pick her up. She asks, I said, do you want to meet at this restaurant or should I pick you up? And she's like, no, if you wouldn't mind picking me up because I'm really bad with my sense of direction. I'm like, okay, great. I go to pick her up, and as we're leaving, I'm like, oh, we can walk on the High Line. And we walked up to the High Line, and then I turned around and I was like, so look, there's your hotel. And then, that was the dormitories for the General Theological Society. And then behind it is still the school, the society. But then like half of the block got turned into like these fancy condos. But then there's still the Episcopalian church is right there as well. And she's like, wait, what did you just say? And I said, well, it's so where you're staying. And I filmed him. I was like, did a scene from a movie there once, but it used to be the dormitories and some of the classrooms for the General Theological Society. She's like, Busy, do you not know? And I was like, what? And she goes, my grandfather, your great grandfather, went to the General Theological Society and lived in the dorms. That's where when he left his home, he came to New York and he went there and he lived there. And I was like, I thought everyone was from Chicago. She's like, no, he was there in 1910 or something like that.
Wow.
So, like, what? The fuck?
Wow.
So then she had brought me, she had it in her bag on her. She's like, when I saw you in Chicago and you'd said like, I don't know, you were interested in learning more about our family, guys, post Hoffman, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, I printed out some things for you and here. And so she pulled it out, and here's my great grandfather, Irwin St. John Tucker, born January 10th, 1886, died January 8th, 1982. And it says priest and social activist. He was born in Alabama, but then moved to New York City and received his BD from the General Theological Seminary in 1913.
Wow.
He was ordained as a deacon in June 1912 and a priest in 1913. In 1914, he left New York for Chicago, where he became the managing editor of the Christian Socialist, an organ of the Christian Socialist Fellowship. He served as a non-parochial priest. In 1917, he opposed the American involvement in World War I, became an anti-war propagandist.
Whoa.
From 1927 until 54, he was the priest in charge of St. Stephen's Church in Chicago. In 1954, he converted to Roman Catholicism. See, I thought that my family was just Roman. I just thought they were Catholics, like
Always
from Chicago.
Catholic. Yeah.
Right. No. He was deposed, not disposed. He was deposed. He was deposed from the ordained ministry of the Episcopal Church in 1954, and he was a layman, until he was reinstated as an Episcopal priest on June 5th, 1970, at the age of 84. During much of his time in Chicago, he worked for the Chicago Herald-American newspaper. He stressed that Christianity and socialism share the ideal of economic and social justice and an emphasis on the unity of humanity. Tucker insisted that, quote, socialism without Christianity is a corpse, and Christianity without socialism is little better than a ghost.
Wow.
Tucker died in Chicago. I never knew this.
Wow.
But I didn't know, like, first of all, so a few things. Well, lots. I mean, clearly, there's lots there.
Lots there. Lots to unpack there.
Yeah. But also this idea of like, I have been asked time and time again in interviews, where does this like activist part of you come from? And why do you feel like it's so important for you to do this? And, you know, and I've always just been like, I mean, because I don't know, because you just have to, because that's just what you have to. But I guess if we like hold on to the idea of generational trauma,
right,
then I guess we could also similarly hold on to the idea of generational values.
Yeah.
Which is to say that, like, even though it wasn't a thing that was like particularly emphasized in my family of origin household growing up, like my mother and father didn't really talk about politics at all. Except for, you know, I think I told you this. My dad was obsessed with the Iran-Contra hearings.
Yes.
But like, you know, it wasn't like a particularly politically active household is all I'm saying.
Right.
But it's just like inside of me.
It's in you.
Isn't that weird?
It's so weird. It does remind me of my grandmother told me that I think her great-grandmother was a storyteller. Her name was Julia, and she was a storyteller. And that was just like her job. And my grandmother, I remember, what did she tell me? That Julia's husband would take her around and people would come to just see her like perform basically, to tell stories, and that she wasn't very attractive, but that her husband like adored her. And that was, you know, just what she was meant to do. And his life was devoted to making sure that he facilitated her doing what she was meant to do. So I always think of that. And I'm always like, oh, maybe I'm a storyteller because of Julia.
Yeah. But just so you know, you are a very beautiful woman.
You're just going to come out and say it?
I'm just going to come out and say it. Just so you know, you are a very beautiful woman.
Thank
you.
I
don't want you to think that you inherited not much to look at, but a husband adored her.
Oh my gosh.
You have, you know, a lot to look at. And also a husband that adores you.
Well,
I mean, it is
it's interesting.
But it is fucking interesting. It is. And like there is something I have to say, like, you know, I think genealogy can be real fucking gross. And
yeah,
I think that people can be really into their aristocratic blood or whatever.
Right. It's gross. And it's also like a thing, like you hear all the time, like it's happened in every family where they're like, we're descended from princesses of this country or that country. And it's usually like, I think that's why people are kind of obsessed with doing the DNA tests now, because so much of what we were told, because we really have lost touch with our individual cultures, is like bullshit. Like people just make up bullshit stories.
But, okay, right. And so this is exactly the point of what I'm trying to say. Like, yes, Caissie, you get it. Like, it's like, I don't care that like I was like here are the things that like I've known about the family history. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I've known things like, that, you know, the family, like they were here for the Revolutionary War, like one side, you know, part of the one side of the family. And that, you know, I don't know, like that kind of like weird shit like that. Like just like dumb things that don't mean anything to me. And like also always feel like thinly veiled or unaware ways of being kind of like racist and gross, right? Like we're white.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that anyone in my immediate family is like said that. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes, I know what you're saying.
Right? Like
it's like an unexamined, shallow look at history, maybe.
Exactly. And just exactly. It's like an unexamined and shallow look at where you come from. But like how fucking weird that out of all of the places I've been like, I go to that place I go to that hotel all the time for coffee.
Right.
I go there, I meet people there for drinks. I like I stayed there. I like walk by it. I like
you
enjoy.
Did a scene in a movie there.
I did a scene in a movie there. But like I fucking love this area right here, like this space, this energy of like this block. I like genuinely like it and have been drawn to it. And also I've like obviously do all of this like social activism work. I mean, if we talk to Birdie about socialism, they're like, it doesn't exist because it's just a step before communism and like blah, 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 blah. But there is something that really speaks to me about it, you know? And like, ideally, why couldn't it exist? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying I didn't know these things. This wasn't information I had. And I feel like I feel it deeply.
I just feel like that's something that you needed to find out about yourself. And something was drawing you to that so many times to be like, is she going to get it this time? Is she going to see something this time that like triggers something? And so I'm so happy you had that conversation with your aunt because it's something that you needed to find out about yourself. Like, I'm sure you felt a million times like, why am I doing this? It's just like, it's in you. It's what you were born to do.
It's just weird to be a person. It's just weird to be anything. It's just fucking weird. It's weird. We're all trying to deal with it. We're all trying to wrap our heads around it every day, right? And like, there is something to being like in community and knowing and having the people around you just understand you intrinsically.
Yeah.
Fucking get you.
And even, I don't know, I've been thinking a lot about this lately and just, there's something about being in community and trusting that everybody wants the best for everybody. And, and again, that's an ideal. But when you want the best for other people in addition to yourself, then you start to look at things differently. And also, I think a community where everyone, when they can, assumes the best about everybody. That's something that I've really been missing because I feel like, and I don't blame people for being cautious because so many people have been burned for so fucking long. People of color have been burned for so fucking long by anyone who ever had an opportunity to burn them on something. Women have been burned for so fucking long. So I don't blame people for being cautious and for not trusting. But I feel like right now the default is to assume the worst about anyone. And just, and social media is like a perfect magnification of that, where people are just like, well, like calling me a piece of shit because I didn't want to like rescue someone's cat or whatever, on a business trip. And I'm like, I'm not a piece of shit. That is like the tiniest snapshot, not even fully fleshed out, of one day in my life. I'm not a piece of shit. You're not allowed to call me a piece of shit. But that is where we kind of collectively are. And so it does make me, I know I talk about our Facebook group so much.
Okay, so we got to start this Substack because, guys,
Yes.
I can't not be a part of the journey anymore. I want to start it. Will you guys did people respond? Will they subscribe?
Yeah. So, I mean, some people said, like, I'm here for whatever. I want to support these women on their journey. Some people said, like, I'm here for the free part because I can't really afford to support financially, but I can support emotionally, which that is, if you don't think that's worth more than gold, then I'm here to tell you you're wrong. Supporting emotionally is incredible. Supporting financially is incredible. And some people said, like, oh, I don't think I'd really read a bunch of stuff, but if there was like video or audio content on there, which we have talked about experimenting with
what I want. I want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might do some writing, guys, but like mostly I think I just want to do some more like vid things.
And also just like shooting the shit and talking in a place where we can like interact with you guys like down in the comments in a way that, so it's kind of like Podcast Plus. A couple people were worried that that it would dilute the content of the podcast. And I'm like, this is real talk from me. We're just talking on the podcast extemporaneously, usually about like what happened that day, unless we write it down that like Busy's dog killed a mouse or whatever, so I just feel like there's 6 more days in the week when we could be potentially hanging out, and this will be a good place to do it. And, who knows how it will go, but I'm excited. And so it is all set up, and we can start finding out who wants to subscribe, and we'll see how it goes. If it's 10 people, maybe that'll be great. Maybe that'll be perfect. If it's 10,000 people, maybe that'll be like a whole new movement. But like, that's what I was about to say is I love the Facebook group so much because it does feel like a very gentle place where we are able to have talks about these things and like share points of view where people are like-minded, but not all identical. And people have different things to say. And everybody so far, knock on wood, because this is so rare in a social space like that, people assume the best of each other in that space. And I'm so proud of that. And the only thing that's missing is Busy. And so this is a chance for us to like bring this bitch into the mix.
I'm going to do it. I'm excited. I'm trying to do my whole, ooh, look at that. I did my picture. But wait, does this mean it doesn't say that I'm also it just accept invite?
Yeah.
But what does that mean?
You'll accept it, and then like I'll make you like an author and administrator or whatever.
I want to be an admin.
Yeah, and then you can like look around, and then you can like write whatever you want on there. But it's set up.
Okay, we're doing it.
We're doing it. So Substack which we'll post on Instagram and in the Facebook group about it. And if you want to subscribe, whether it's just subscribing to additional free content, that's great. If you want to pay to subscribe, that would be amazing and helpful, as I've said, to me personally. But it's okay.
And me too.
Yeah, you too. And all of it's great. And we'll see how it goes. Like we were saying, like what is life for except for trying stuff? And maybe we'll love it. And maybe it'll be like the next big thing in our lives. Who knows? Who knows?
Does it look like I accepted? You can go look. All right, I got to go because I've got shit that's happening over here.
Well, okay, I want to say a couple more things before we jump off. We didn't say what we're doing our best at this week.
What are you doing your best at?
I'm just doing my best at like being chill. Again, I'm not the best at being chill. And like a lot of wacky shit happened this week. And like we were having people over for like a Father's Day thing. Paul F. Tompkins is not a father, but he did fall in love with Ashley Nicole Black's dog at that gathering.
He loves a dog.
He loves a dog. And my husband, because I've been working and I haven't had time to like really like do windows around the house, he brought in some people to like clean the windows. He hired somebody off of Yelp to clean the windows, but they didn't clean the windows at all. They cleaned the house, but they like also forgot a bunch of rooms. I don't know. I'm not even sure that they really were like professional cleaners or whatever. So all things considered, like I just was like, who fucking cares if the windows are dirty? Like, you know, and so I was just trying to be chill about that. That's the kind of thing where I really could have spiraled and been like, you know, we have to cancel the thing because the windows are dirty. And like, I just didn't. I just wiped a couple of windows half-heartedly and then was like, whatevs, you know? It was a miscommunication and it's fine. And I'm not going to spiral. So that's what I did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I don't know. I just, same, I guess.
You're trying to like have your birthday week and like get through it and figure out.
I'm trying to like check things off my list slowly, but surely.
That's great. That's great.
So I've been checking things off and did that. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. I have a really, really, really long list.
A long list
trying to,
and
like,
you're working your way through it.
I'm trying to work my way through it. And it's not the easiest thing. And sometimes it feels overwhelming, but just it is what it is. And I'm doing it.
Well, happy Cancer season to you.
God, as of today.
Of Cancer season. We're going to do a bunch of giveaways on Instagram. And so like week by week throughout Cancer season to celebrate Busy's birthday. We're going to give some stuff away, some little treats. So that'll be fun. So check us out on Instagram. BP is doing her best on Instagram. And Melissa Walker from the States Project let us know that there are 93 giving circles that have come about as a result of her appearance on this podcast. And so much money has been raised. Too many giving circles to name check them all, but we'll shout you out on Instagram all at some point. But through June 30th, every donation to the States Project is being doubled up to $2,500 per individual. So if you were thinking about starting a giving circle or giving money to someone's giving circle, maybe think about doing it in the next 8 days because it will be doubled. And check out Brave Gowns because we have some fun stuff up there, some new merch, including a playable beach bingo towel about none of this was on my bingo card, which is fun. Get one of
those. I didn't get one of those. And then I showed those new shirts that are so cute.
Yes, you showed a bunch of new shirts, including some shirts that are going to benefit Tent, correct?
I know Tent was so excited and then I was like, we should send you guys shirts. So now we need to send them shirts.
Now you got to do that. So all that stuff, just like a bunch of housekeeping, but a lot of exciting things coming up. Substack, Cancer season on Instagram, going to do some giveaways. States Project, if you want to join a giving circle or start a giving circle, maybe do it in the next 8 days. Go to Brave Gowns and check out the new merch. It's super cute. And as always, subscribe and download this podcast, share it if you feel like it, and let's just keep like the good stuff going. Let's just try to keep doing good stuff as we roll into summer.
Let's keep doing it. We're doing it. We got it, guys. We got it. And as usual, we love you.
We love you. Happy birthday, Busy. We will next time we talk, it will have been your birthday.
Wow.
You got You got a couple days to figure it out.
I'm going to do it.
We love you all so much.
We love you guys.
Have a great week.
Okay, bye.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh, no.